Welcome and good evening to our March 4th, 2026 Select Board meeting. I call this meeting to order at 7:05. This meeting is being recorded and broadcast live by WACA-TV and live streamed on your YouTube. Remote participation is available using the Zoom video conference platform. Any disruption with the video conference platform will result in the platform being shut down. In such an event, or description and disruption of the broadcast will continue on WACA-TV and live streamed on YouTube. Thank you, and seeing that we called the meeting to order, first on the agenda is citizens' participation, either in person or on Zoom. So if there's anybody that would like to speak, please use your raised hand mode and we will contact you directly. I don't see anybody's hand raised. Give it a few moments. And we're good. Okay. Well, with that, we have 5 minutes to go before our 7:10 meeting, agenda item. And so with that, I would entertain.
Can I recommend we just jump in? It's not a hearing. We can start
Okay.
early and she's
Yeah.
here.
Are you ready? So you can start early and leave early. All right, sounds fine by me.
It was up there. Yeah, I know it's here, but it's not sharing. Co-host again. Let me just call her.
Just have a few technical difficulties, so just bear with us. In the meantime, go make some popcorn and whatever. And oh, okay, Joni, you raised your hand. If you can, sorry about that, Catherine. You should be, there you go, Joan. Good evening.
Hello, how you doing? I was unable to raise my hand or unmute because of, I guess, technical difficulties. But, so I apologize. I know you were starting something else. If you'd like me to wait, I'm happy to do that. But if you want me to go ahead, I will. So
I think we just got the display up and running. So
Okay.
if you don't mind holding off on that, Joan, that would be
Sure.
appreciated. Thank you.
No problem. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Hi,
Hello there.
I am Cindy Livingstone. I am the town clerk, and I have been asked to come and speak to some public records updates. As well as the town clerk, I'm also the records access officer, so I handle all the public records for the entire town. I'm doing this right? There we go. Oh, how do I go backwards, Catherine? Oh, that's it, okay. So what is a public record? According to Mass General Law, Chapter 66, Section 10, a public record is basically anything that goes through the building, through the municipal hands. There are some exemptions. Public records do not include internal personnel rules and practices, policy positions being developed, notebooks and other materials unless they're used at a public meeting. And there's, like I said, 21 other exemptions in the law. We also do not have to create a document that does not exist or change a format if that's not the format that our document is in. Does anybody have any questions on that slide?
We're good.
So how to file a public records request? We internally use a system called Next Request. Where am I on this? But they can be made either verbally, in writing, they can come to my window. excuse me, they can call, fax, email, however they'd like to do it. If somebody's asking for something, it is a public records request. It does not have to go through Next Request. We, however, do put it through our system, no matter how it comes in, whether it's called, emailed, or in person. But we do strongly encourage that residents do use our system, and we have that all over our website. And to ensure the records access officer can efficiently locate, we do request that they're very specific in their request. We have had, I'm just going to use, it's a fake example, but a request for, let's say, any and all emails between the town manager and select board with the keyword town meeting. So you know that's going to bring up probably 10,000 different emails. So we go back to them and we ask them to please just narrow their search, and we'll do the best that we can. So these are our statistics. I based everything off 2025 because we did start our new policy in June of 25, so there was more data to work with than just the last 3 months of, not even 3 months of 2026. So our average days to close, a public record has to be closed within 10 business days. Our average day to close last year was 7.5 days, which actually that number is a little bit high because we also use the system for our open meeting law complaints, which is 14 business days, so it kind of skews the numbers a little bit. So I'm guessing it's probably 6 days to close. But we take pride in that. We don't ever want to be late. So impact and compliance, there's a lot of work that goes into each request received. Even the smaller quick responses, like looking for just building permits or anything, still has to go through my office, entered into the system, assigned to the correct department. We have to wait for the records to come back, submit, release them to the requester. So even like a small request can still take some time. Typical day, I spend probably on average between 1 and 2 hours on public records, depending on, you know, how many we have coming in, the size of them, how many departments might be involved with just one. So it's really important to, like, you know, make sure that everybody's on the same page with all the departments. And compliance is very important, as you can see, for the reasons up there. The biggest one for me is the reputation in the town, if we don't comply with what the law says. So on to our policy, our fee policy. We updated this in June of 2025, and we created it just to get people a little more familiar with how many requests, I guess, that we get in a day or in a week, or not even how many, but just the amount of time it takes the office to handle everything that's coming through. So the state law is the public records law allows municipalities with a population of under 20,000 to charge for the first 2 hours. Municipalities over 20,000 cannot charge for that first 2 hours, but the rate is set by the lowest paid person able to perform the task in the office and not to exceed $25 an hour. And the population is always based on the most recent decennial census, which ours was 2020, and we were 18,832. So we are able to charge for that first 2 hours. So what we did do is we created it so if we get more than one public records request from the same person within the year, and I'm not going to say unreasonable is not the word, it's going to be time consuming, we are going to charge them, even if it's an increment of 15 minutes, which is what, $7.50? Yeah, or $6.25, I don't know. So that's what we did it for. And there are exclusions to what we charge for, which public records that are freely available, which is meeting minutes, agendas, anything that you might find on our website already, contracts, bids, bid results, not bids, but, and police reports there's never a charge for. So we don't charge the fees a lot. In the calendar year 2025, we only issued 4 cost estimate letters to requesters. Each one reflected at least an hour and a half or more of work. We've never billed in a 15-minute increment. And of those 4, only 2 were sent to requesters who had submitted multiple requests for the same year. One had 4 and one had 14. And I do everything in my power to get the requesters to narrow their search. But, and like the other 2 that were sent out, they were either like lawyers or contractors that looking for 3 to 4 hours worth of work. So we did send costs for those. But like I said, we do everything we can not to have to charge people, but sometimes it is necessary. Anybody have any questions?
Open up to the board. Anybody have any questions for Ms. Cindy? Okay.
So we have a policy that says if you request 2 or more in a year, you're going to get charged.
You may get charged. I mean, yes. But like I said, like one requester had 14, we've only sent 1 cost letter to that requester.
Okay, I'm going to go back to the policy that says if you request 2 or more, you may get charged.
Correct.
So who determines if they get charged? Is it something that you decide because, I don't know why,
To me,
right?
it's a time thing, you know, I mean, if it's something that can be quickly turned around, I don't find it's necessary. It would take me more time to create the letter, to send to the requester, to
So
submit.
so if they make a request and you think you're going to have to charge them, you can't just send them, you can't just do the work and then send them the bill?
No, we don't start the work until the bill is
They've
paid.
paid.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it says in the letter that once the
Okay.
fee is received, we'll
So
start the work.
I guess my concern is the potential inconsistency, right? That if one person does 2 or 3, but, okay, it's not that bad and, you know, we get along with this. I mean, I don't know what the reasoning is as to why you do or don't charge people. That there could be the concern that, well, you know, if someone asks for more, but someone, you know, I'm
Well,
not making
so-
myself very clear, but the point is,
No, I know what you're
if the
saying.
rule is, if you're gonna ask for 2 or more, we're gonna charge you.
Correct.
Or you may be
And
charged.
the only 2 cost letters that I sent outside of the lawyer or the contractor
Yeah.
was to people that since June, since the policy came out, have asked for more than 2 requests.
Okay,
Other than that, I haven't had anybody else ask me for more than 2.
okay, and
Unless it's something
this fee only went into place as of June 1st of 25.
25, correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, my comment back would be, if our policy is to charge people if you have 2 or more, and I would almost, I don't know if you can, but I would charge everyone the minimum of a half hour. I mean, I don't know if you can do that, but
Yeah,
our
we-
minimum charge is gonna be half an hour, because otherwise it's not worth charging something, right?
Right, yeah.
So I don't know, again, I don't know if you can charge a minimum, but,
We'd have to relook at the policy because we did it, I think it says 15-minute increments, correct?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does say 15 increment, you know, but anyway. That, I think it's good to let people know what the policy is, but my
Yeah.
concern is that we're not being consistent. So let's make sure we're consistent. That's all I would
Okay.
say. But thank you for the explanation. I think it's great. to
When you
review
said,
that.
you know, that people need to know, we put it right on the website. When you file a public records request, it's
Yeah.
right there on our page explaining how to file a public records request. It's also right there for them to view the policy.
Right. And then just one other follow-up question. There, you had a whole list of things that we don't charge for, right? Because
Right.
minutes, things related to meetings.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if someone's requesting that,
Police reports.
If they did it 10 times, I wouldn't charge them because, I mean, the law says I
you
don't
can't
charge for those
for
things.
anything
Yeah.
that should be available in the public domain
Exactly.
because it's open meeting law.
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
great.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Good, Cindy.
I have a couple.
Okay.
So, just a quick question. So in that next request portal or whatever it is, tracking system, do you also use it to track the time that you spend on these?
It does have that
requests?
capability, for
Yeah.
sure. And, but when I have like really large requests that I have had to charge, you know, $100 because it's 4 hours, it usually
Yeah.
takes longer than 4 hours in the end, but I just keep a spreadsheet of how much time I've spent on it.
Yeah. I was gonna say, do you track, because you had that slide that had like some stats and I can't remember off the top of my head if you had, that,
That one?
Yep.
Yes, yes. So, I'm just looking, okay, because I thought of this question after we went through this slide. So do you have like an average amount of time that you spend per request? Like,
Me, myself?
well, just in general, like to say, okay, our average public records request takes 2 hours of time or something like, and because you're
Yeah.
tracking it.
An average probably takes, if it's something quick, somebody's looking for building permits or something like that, start to finish is probably 10 minutes.
Okay, okay.
You know.
No, I'm more curious
I
than
mean, more
anything,
time
how
goes
much.
by, but I mean,
Yeah.
me sending it to inspectional services, them,
Yeah.
when they get that, actually fulfilling the request and then coming back to me, and so 10 or 15 minutes.
Okay, no, I'm just more curious, like how much time each one of these, because I know you said it takes, you spend generally speaking like an hour to 2 hours a day working on public records.
But you see,
requests.
in 2025, we had 625 requests.
Yes,
And
yes, which
that's,
is a lot.
that's only the 5 days a week, that's not 365 days a year, so, yeah, so
No,
it's
that's
about
a
an
lot.
hour to 2 hours, depending on
Yeah.
what is being asked.
Okay, and I
I'm
have
sorry,
one
go
other
ahead,
question.
go ahead.
So the other thing is sometimes, like, we will receive an email from someone asking for something that we don't have readily available. What is the process? Do we send them to you?
Yes, please,
Okay.
because I am the records access officer,
Okay.
they do need to go through me. They can
Okay.
ask you, you can direct it to me, if they email you, send it
Got
to
it.
me. But just keeping track of it is so big, because I would hate for somebody to ask you for something.
Yeah.
And in their head, it's a public records request, you don't send it to me, you go on vacation or whatever, the 10 business days go by, they
Right.
can petition the state and we get a mark against us.
Okay, no,
So-
that's good to know, because I think sometimes we see things and it's not quite a public records request, but
Yeah.
it's just an inquiry that we don't have an easy response to. and,
Right.
So if it is something that needs to be a public records request.
Also, if it's a request that should be charged for, if we go past that 10 days, we cannot legally charge them for it.
Okay, that's good to know too. Okay, all right, thank you.
You're
I'm good.
welcome.
You know, one thing that next request system is really good about is it actually, the records that you upload to satisfy the public records request, they actually stay up on the system. So you can actually go through the older public records requests and see the responses.
Yeah,
And search, search through them as well. So sometimes people, just by searching what's been requested before, they don't have to do a public records request. They can find the data there.
Oh, so people can, so that's a public database? Okay.
as long as the
Okay.
record
Yeah.
is a public
Public
record, like none of
record,
none of the police records are up on the site. There's anything that has anything to do with the school, if there's children, it's not public on the site, but.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
when people request like all the building permits for the, year of 2024, they're up there.
So it's self-serve?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you sounded like you were coming from behind.
No, that's good to know. I didn't know that. I thought
either.
it was just
Yeah.
like, you put in your information and what you're looking for, and then you get it back through the system. I didn't realize that the documents.
Yeah, it's a database.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Lottie, did you have anything?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to say thank you very much for this. I had no idea that there would be 625 public records requests.
Yeah, that's all departments, so that's
Yeah,
school,
still, I mean,
police,
that's a
fire.
lot, right?
Yeah.
And I know I've been involved in a couple, and I know that it can be very time-consuming, and sometimes like redacting names and that
Yeah.
is just so huge, and, you have to be so careful, but, so, no, thank you. I really had no idea that we would have so many.
Yolanda, did you have a follow-up?
No, I'm good.
No, you good?
Yeah,
I have one quick question
Okay.
for you, because you mentioned police reports.
yes.
Now, we have a records clerk
Yes.
at the APD that should be doing that job as well.
She does. So what
okay.
happens is they come through me, I assign them to her.
Okay,
She fulfills the request, and then she has the ability to close it out. Most departments don't. It has to go back through me, but with police records, they're, more time sensitive and sensitive. So she has the capability to do
so if
everything.
someone went to the PD and requested, they would have to come, they would respond by telling them to come see you first and fill out a records
Or-
request? Or they can do it
They
and
can
send it
go
to you?
right through the online portal and do it themselves, or what happens if that happens, if they come in, Janice just puts
Yep.
it into the system herself.
Okay, great,
So,
thank you.
yep, you're
And
welcome.
thank you for all the work that your office does. It's,
No problem.
I know it's time-consuming, and this is, it's important, because a lot of people, they ask for transparency, and this is one way to provide the transparency that they're all looking for, so,
And
thank you
Joe,
very
there
much.
is someone in the public with a raised
Oh, I
hand.
can't see
want
it, so.
I don't know if you
Oh,
want to
I
allow
don't know
them to
how,
ask a
do you want me to
question.
get rid of this? What do I do?
Yeah, you
Come on, Catherine.
It's hard to see, but
Yep.
Just escape?
Okay. Yep.
Did I do it?
Hello, this is Julie.
Hold on a second, Julie.
Oh,
yeah, I don't think we're going to see her anyway. I don't,
Yeah.
I don't
Am
know
I
that we're
supposed to
allowing people to turn cameras on.
unshare? Oh, stop share. Okay.
There we go.
hello.
Okay, go ahead, Julie.
Okay. Julie Nardone, 86 Elliott Street. Thank you for letting me speak. I think the town's priorities are a little off here. If you look at this new, the new number of, I believe it's only one per calendar year. You start getting charged on the second one. And honestly, public records is really, it's the heart of democracy for people to have access to records. What if people don't have the money? And
Julie, I'm just going to ask you, if you have a question, please do so. This is not a platform for a discussion at this point in time, but if you have a specific question, I would be more than happy to allow you to ask that question at this time.
when would there be a platform? It's on your agenda. I don't understand why I can't speak about my experiences.
Because we're talking about a presentation that doesn't say anything about providing an individual's actions.
Yeah, no,
Hold on one second, Julie. Go ahead, Cindy.
If I might. So also, anytime a letter is sent to anybody for either asking for a time extension or a cost letter for fees, they do have the option to appeal it with the Secretary of State, and that is written at the bottom of every single letter that we send out.
Okay.
So that would be the time, if somebody wants to appeal that, that's when they would do it, is to the Secretary of State's office.
Okay, does that answer your question, Julie, with respect?
it's not. Let me just say this. I pay almost $9,000 a year, plus trash, excise, everything you can think of. And most of my money goes to the schools. We don't have children. I'm fine with that. But I need to get something for my $9,000. And I don't think it's too much to ask to let people make public records requests. It sounds very anti-democratic to try and shut people off.
Julie, I'm not trying to shut you off, but I'm trying to understand where you're coming from with respect to, now you're saying it's against the democratic policy. This is a public records presentation as to how you can use the format and platform that's being provided by the town. I am sorry that you're paying those. I don't think anybody sitting around this table or anybody that's watching feels that, that we're paying just as much as you, maybe more. So, you know, to throw that out there, that's fine. That's your prerogative to throw it out there. But that, again, that's not part of the discussion that we're having at this point in time.
It's a public records discussion.
It is a public record discussion. So how does what you pay for taxes a public record discussion? It isn't.
Because what I'm saying is that why not hire someone else for public records instead of getting a second assistant town manager, bonuses? Again, our priorities are off, and we never get to speak about anything in this town. Always being shut down or you're off topic. So again, I think our priorities are very off, and that public records are important.
Okay, well, again, that's your prerogative to feel that way. I'm sure there are others that don't feel the same way you do, or maybe there are others that do feel that way. But I'm going to let Cindy respond to what you just said.
Yeah, again, out of the 625 requests that we got in 2025, only 4 people received cost letters, and the least amount of time that they were sent for was for 1.5 hours worth of work. So we're not
yeah.
just charging everybody. We're not, It's definitely based on how much time it's gonna spend, we're gonna have to spend on that request, for the most part.
So if it's under an hour and a half, you won't
No, I'm not
charge-
saying that. I'm saying, as of right now, the only cost letters we sent in 2025 were because it was gonna require that much. There was nothing that came in that was gonna be a 15-minute increment. That wasn't something that was just readily available to the public, i.e. the meeting minutes, the agendas. Does that make sense, Julie?
Unfortunately, no, but
Okay.
I know that there's just really no platform for people to really talk about things. But anyways, thank you.
You can stop in my office anytime you'd like. I wouldn't mind at all to have the discussion.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you, Julie.
One thing I would just like to add, Julie, and I understand all your points, but, you know, really, we charge the public for all kinds of things that the town, the clerk does, in terms of vital statistics, documents, all kinds of things. There's an additional cost. And that's, you know, part of the way we do business, and as much as we pay in taxes and other things in the town, those things actually do offset not paying more. So it's not just public records requests that we're charging for, and it seems, you know, like Cindy has been very, you know, yeah, very gracious in terms of not charging. But we do charge for all kinds of things that are done in the clerk's office.
Yeah, I should point out, I think, you know, the impetus for any kind of fee like that, it's certainly not to be punitive. But, you know, we talk about, what we found was, you know, there were situations where a limited, you know, amount of requests in terms of the total population here in Ashland was taking up like a very disproportionate amount of time. And so it was an attempt to maybe ensure access for everybody, and make sure that they had access to the same things and the same, you know, staff resources, as, you know, a few people in town do.
Thank you, Michael. Does that help with some of the clarification that you were looking for, Julie? Probably not, but doing the best we can here.
I'll talk to Cindy if I have to. Oh,
Okay,
thank
Okay.
you.
All right.
Sorry, Cindy.
that's okay.
Thank you, Cindy, for
happy
your
to do it.
presentation. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you, guys.
And I appreciate the process that you do.
I know we're running a little bit late, and this is
Yep.
not public records, but I just wanted, I was chatting with Cindy, just to touch base on, you know, people can be running, you know, pulling papers, and I just asked if she could give us a quick update
Sure.
on who has, not necessarily
Seeing
who
that
has
you're right
pulled,
here, you might as well.
But since she's here.
So just,
and-
I'll do it really, really quick.
Yeah.
I've had papers pulled for every position except for, I just gave you my paper. I believe Board of Health. One seat on Board of Health. But, and nobody's returned papers yet, and they're not due back until the 31st, but I am going, even if you're not gonna return your papers, if you have pulled, and, I'm going to send out an email. There is a seminar. It's an online training for town election candidates for the campaign finance reporting. It's on March 16th at noon, and it's by Zoom, but I'm going to send an email out to all the candidates, even though they're
Thank
not
you.
candidates until I get their papers back.
That's great.
Thank you, Cindy.
great.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Cindy.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate that.
All righty. We have people strolling in every 3 or 4 minutes here, and there's a fine group of people sitting in the back area there. And at this time, it's a little after 7:30. I'd like to have them all come up. These are our Boston Marathon runners who will be representing the town of Ashland in this coming year's Boston Marathon. These are the folks who toil 26.6 miles.
26.2.
I'm sorry, 26.2. I just added 0.4 of a mile. That's okay.
That's a lot.
We'll bring it, we'll extend. Yeah.
No, we'll do the 410.
I'll do the 4/10, and you guys can pick up the 26.2. That works for me. Hey, what do you want for a 70-year-old? That's not, you know, anyway. If you want, folks, come on up. If you come by the podium and introduce yourselves, that would be great.
Line up right by the podium, and
Yep,
then one
right
at a
up at the
time, you
podium
can
and-
introduce yourselves and. go first.
Don't
Go
worry,
ahead.
it
You're right
won't, it
there.
won't
Don't be
bite.
shy.
It won't
You don't
bite. You won't get shocked.
We're really nice people.
Yeah, we really are.
Hello, my name is Talita, and I'm one of the runners running this year. I don't know if you remember me from
We
last
do.
year.
We do.
Yeah, I was selected to run last year, but I had to defer because I got pregnant. And then life unexpected turned back to me, and we lost the babies within
I'm sorry to hear
10
that.
weeks, in the middle of the pregnancy in May. And my husband, he put his name in the lottery to run this year, and he got selected. So
Nice.
I was thinking that maybe I could get back running because he was selected. So I tried to take back my deferral, and it worked. I was able to do that. So I'm running this year with him. So we are running as a family,
Nice.
and
Oh, that's wonderful.
that's our story. Susan asked me
It's
to
a- it's a
tell
wonderful
our
story.
Story, oh.
Yeah, that's our story.
Yeah.
So we are running together this year in memory of our twins, and also getting back to the community because we appreciate a lot Ashland and all the program because
Well,
it
we
helped-
appreciate what
helped
you've done.
people and helped us too. So, yeah.
Very nice.
Thank you for
Thank you.
sharing that.
Thank
you
you
for
very much.
sharing that.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Sam Thurston. I live up on Stagecoach Drive. Been a resident of Ashland since 2020. And grew up in Natick. I've always gone to the Boston Marathon every single year. I've been endlessly inspired by it. And so I'm a local musician, a band director down in Plainville, and I also run the Ashland Lesson Program. We started a few years ago, providing music lessons to all of our elementary, middle, and high school band students. And so, a few years ago, I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes and could no longer run any marathons or any other races, really. I struggled to figure out how to run past 3 miles, you know. So it's been quite a learning curve. But over the last couple of years, I've found my way back, and I've run a few more races, and found out about this program that we have here, the grant, and immediately applied for it. Saw that it has benefited so many wonderful programs in Ashland, including the Ashland Music Association. So my hope is that we can, as a lesson program, apply and find some financial aid for some families who maybe can't afford private lessons. So that's sort of the long-term goal, but as a runner, I'm very, very excited to finally get to run the Boston Marathon through this town and my hometown of Natick. So I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you for
Thank
what you
you.
do. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Cool.
Hi, my name's Wilson Lin. Grew up in Ashland pretty much my entire life, went to school here, live back here now after graduating from college. I was a member of the Ashland High School track team, cross-country team, so during the marathon, we would always go out and cheer on the runners as a team. And some of the biggest inspirations in my life were my coaches, Chris Avery, Lou Mancini, who both were able to run the marathon. So it's always been kind of a dream to follow in their footsteps, and kind of the ultimate goal as a track athlete is running a marathon. So having this opportunity, a couple of my friends last year actually were able to run as part of the town of Ashland, Ben Savage and Isha Yadav. So they kind of gave me the idea to apply. And,
Yep.
I put my name in this year, was lucky enough to get selected, and I'm excited to run the marathon as part of the town of Ashland.
Well, thank you.
Wait,
Thank you
when
very
did
much.
you- When did you graduate high school? When did you graduate?
Class of 2019.
2019.
2019.
So,
Great.
yeah, recognize
Thank you.
Look a lot different.
Yeah, just a little.
Hi, I'm Tiffany Berry. I've lived in Ashland since 2013, and I love it here. I actually work at the preschool. I'm one of the speech language pathologists there. I'm the president of the Ashland Moms Club as well, so I just love this town and have benefited immensely from the grants between the preschool PTO. My kids are involved in sports and lots of different activities in town. There's a lot of other organizations that I've been a part of or that we've benefited from. So running for the town of Ashland has been a really amazing opportunity. I was a very casual runner prior to this, but once I found out that I was selected, I've met some amazing people in the running community who've been really supportive and have been helping kind of push me very much beyond my comfort zone, which has been great. But I'm also really
running a
grateful for this
marathon, you're gonna.
opportunity and,
Absolutely.
loved getting back into running, so.
Good.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
again.
Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Demetra Edwards. I moved to Ashland in July, so I'm still very new.
Welcome.
Yes.
Oh,
I'm
welcome here.
feeling very welcomed already. So when we moved in July, it was whirlwind. We were planning. My husband and I just got married in October at the Warren Center. So
Nice.
Nice, very nice.
You're definitely involved.
yeah, so feeling very part of the community already. But when I saw the Google form to fill out to put my name into the lottery to run, I was like, probably never gonna get this, but you know, it's worth a shot. Just moved, why? I'll do it. So I was very excited to get the opportunity, and I've been running since high school. So it's, you know, like everybody has said, it's any runner's dream come true to run the Boston Marathon, and I'm very happy to be doing it for Ashland. Feeling very supported by my neighbors, by the community so far. So I'm happy to give back, even though, you know, I've only been here for 6 months, but.
Well, we're happy to have you, so
Happy to have
thank you for
Thank
doing
you.
this.
Have to
Yes.
have it. Thank you so much.
So great.
People
And-
online?
Yep.
Do we have some people
Yeah.
We
online?
have some
Yeah.
folks online.
Nick?
Nick, unmute yourself if you would. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Right. Yeah. My name's Nick Kynock. I don't know. Can I show myself even on here? No.
You're
never
not
mind.
letting people.
That's okay. My wife and I grew up in Framingham. My wife and I moved to Ashland from Natick in 2023. I wish I was there in person, but we have a 3-month-old and a 2.5-year-old, so priorities.
Yes, indeed.
But very much looking forward to raising money for the town of Ashland, and all that is supported through the BAA grant fund, especially knowing that my kids will grow up in this town. And this will be my 5th Boston Marathon.
Wow.
Wow.
Nice.
So yeah, just really thankful for the opportunity and to give back to the community.
Well, we thank you for all your efforts
Yes, thank
and the pain that all of you are going to go through. I mean, the happiness you're all going to go through.
Enjoy the elation.
Enjoy the elation.
sense of
That's what I meant, not the
accomplishment.
pain, not this one,
Yes.
no. So thank you very much. We appreciate that.
Thank you, Nick.
Do we
It's
have the-
actually 7:45, and I
okay.
have to hold off
do
for
have
1
to,
second.
yep.
Yep.
I have a legal notice that I have to read,
And then we'll get back to you guys.
and then we'll come back, we'll come back. All right, so notice is hereby given that the Select Board will conduct a hearing regarding application for a livery license. Smooth Ride Premium Car Service LLC, 42 Sudbury Road, Ashland, Mass. 01721. A public hearing will be held on this matter on Wednesday, March 4th, 2026, at 7:45 p.m. Parties wishing to be heard on this matter are invited to attend the public hearing by logging into the Zoom meeting. Interested parties who are unable to attend the meeting may submit written comments to the Select Board's office, Town of Ashland, 101 Main Street, Ashland, Mass. 01721, or by emailing Susan Roby at sroby@ashlandmass.com. It's signed by Joseph Magnani Jr., the chair. I'll ask that we can suspend this meeting.
So moved.
Oh, we have to open it first.
Yeah,
yeah.
so,
Open it first.
meeting is open.
I'll make a motion to open the hearing.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Now I ask
Make
that
a
we
motion
suspend.
to suspend.
Suspend. Is there a second?
Yep. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
That's 5-0 as well. We will come back to this, but we still want to continue talking with marathon runners who are supporting the town of Ashland. Are there any additional members out there, runners out there, that we would like to acknowledge and speak with?
Are they all able to unmute?
They would put their hands up?
Yeah.
Yeah, put your hand up
Yeah,
so we
put your
can
hand
unmute
up.
you.
Maybe Ari is the one.
Ari, yeah.
All right,
There
yeah.
we go.
Okay.
There we go.
I didn't
have the hand raise
Now, there you go, Ari.
There you
Now you're
go.
applauding
You're
him.
clapping.
Yeah,
for some of that.
that's even better. It's even better. Yeah.
So I apologize again for not being able to make it in person, but if you were able to see my face, you'd be able to see how excited I've been to be able to finally run this. My name's Ari. I was born and raised in Ashland. So I've been here since 2001, and actually this has been the first year that I'm not living in Ashland because I moved into Boston. I graduated from Ashland High in 2019, and graduating from Ashland, being born and raised is something that I'll always be proud of. My blood runs through Ashland. I love it. I wrestled in high school. I played tennis, and then I wrestled at the collegiate level. And after graduating college, I lived at home. And growing up watching the marathon every year with my family, I picked up running like naturally. And so every day while living at home, I used to touch the town hall sign on every single run because I hope that one day I'd be able to run on behalf of Ashland and fundraise as I saw so many of my friends be able to do when I was growing up. So I was able to be selected this year, and I'm beyond grateful to fundraise on behalf of everything that I grew up being privileged enough to have access to, and hope that is the case for many other people growing up and living in Ashland now. So really excited, and wanted to thank you all for having the time to be able to introduce all of us today.
Thank you, Ari. Thank you for your service and helping the town out again. We greatly appreciate it. Folks, if anything you would like to add to Ari? I'm sure Claudia does.
No, yeah, I know Ari too. Congratulations, good luck on your run, and thank you.
Thank you, Miss Bennett. I recognize that voice.
She wasn't one of your principals, was she?
No, actually, I think in third or fourth
The computer
grade, maybe.
teacher, okay.
IT
I think we
teacher.
did a green screen activity. with
Yeah?
you. Yeah.
And I somehow figured out how to use Zoom, so I guess it paid off.
So I have a question.
Sure.
So first of all, thank you all for not only being here, but to share your stories, because this makes it so real for all of us. One of the best things we do, my opinion, but one of the best things we do is the BAA grant program that gets funded by all of you. And we do it twice a year. In fact, we're going to open up the grant cycle for the spring tonight. And literally, when we get these requests in and we know what kind of impact these grants have on our community and our groups, it's so impactful. So on behalf of all the organizations that would not have a way of fundraising to support the work that they do, thank you for doing that, for wanting to give back to Ashland. So it's special, and it's special to hear all of your stories, because you kind of sometimes forget when 30,000 people run through your town that there's a story behind every single one of them.
That's true.
And our runners are just really special to us. So thank you. I did have one question, and I'll throw it out to whoever wants to answer, but we ask our runners to raise $3,000. I'm curious how you're finding the fundraising, if it's challenging, if the amount is doable. Like we're trying to kind of gauge what, if what we do long term, to see if that amount is still the right amount. And we also want to make it doable for our runners. So if anybody, you want to come on up and
as you're going up, because we know that for a lot of other organizations, it's like $10,000 or so.
Right.
We are considering, do we ask people to raise a little bit more? So it'd be good to get feedback.
Yeah, That's actually what I was going to say is I've met a lot of other runners who are also running the marathon for some of those organizations. And when we're running, it's very stressful and it's a big struggle for them to be raising $7,500, $10,000. They're constantly asking people for money, and I've met the minimum already, so it's not something that I do have to worry about at this point. So I do think it's a manageable amount, at least in my experience with the fundraising I've done and the people that I've met. It's been nice to have met that and be able to just focus on the kind of running, and anything I raise from now on is just a great addition. So,
Right. Thank you.
thank you.
Great feedback.
Good feedback.
Thank you.
Yep. Good question.
Anybody else want to
I-
respond or?
Yeah, anyone else? I do want to just shout y'all out a little bit, so. Again, just thank you so much for putting not just your hearts, but your bodies on the line for Ashland and improving our community. I did want to ask just how generally how the fundraising was going, but I also want to remind people who are watching that everyone that you saw here tonight still needs your donations. So you can go to the town website and donate to all of them if you can. So help them make their minimums and help them, strengthen our programs here in town. But just would like to hear a little bit more about the fundraising experience, if anyone else has anything to share about that. Yeah, go ahead, come up to the podium.
So personally, I don't know if this was even allowed, but I put flyers in my neighbors' mailboxes. So, sorry. but it was effective. And then, being new to the town, it was like, I felt like my neighbors would come up to me and congratulate me, and they were excited to talk about it. So I felt like having that personal connection was really good for the fundraising. I asked a lot of my coworkers. I put flyers up at school. I'm a teacher, so I was like just pretty much making it very visible to everybody. So I think the more you reach out to people that like your circle and your family, and tell your family to spread the word too, that was pretty effective for me. And I felt like everybody got so excited about it, and now even more friends are like, what else can I do to help? So I feel
That's nice.
like I think the amount is manageable as well. So it's, depending on how much the people applying for these grants, how much money that they need for whatever programs that they're running, increase it maybe, but
Thank you.
That's great feedback. Oh, Art has his hand up too.
All right, yeah, Art has his hand up.
Just to add on to that, I agree. I think that especially maybe it's because I'm biased and I love Ashland, so I know where the money is going to, generally speaking. I think it's very doable in terms of the minimum, but I also think that when you really elaborate on where these funds are going to, I found that you have more success. So as opposed to people, reaching out or posting on their social media, hey, support me in my fundraising, here's my Venmo. It's a lot more, relatable depending on who the person is when you actually list off where this grant is going. Because you never know where or what organization really touches a person, and all of Ashland's different allocations I've found to be very personable to people when you actually are able to explain it out to them. So that for me was really effective.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think we got Nick.
We have one more.
Yep, Nick.
Awesome, thank you. I totally agree with what everybody's said. I've had the opportunity to fundraise for a couple other charities, whether it was in Natick or some in Framingham, and they were through the same situation of towns that are on the route getting their own bibs. And so I think having in all of those situations, it's been about the same minimum, and knowing that it's for a town, it's been really great. Where I know some of the larger nonprofits have a much higher minimum. So knowing that it's for towns on the route and having that minimum, I think is very attainable. The one piece of feedback I would say is nothing against our bill pay system and all that, but I have had the experience of having to be able to do it through Give and Gain, which is a lot of what other charities use, and it is a much easier format for folks to donate. Whereas I know, I pay my excise tax and all that stuff, so I know how that system works, and I can do it quickly. But folks that don't live in Ashland might find it a little bit difficult to use that municipal system to end up finding a donation. Yeah.
I've gotten that feedback as well, Nick, so I definitely hear that. So thank you.
Yep.
Very good. Appreciate everything that you all have done so far to get yourselves ready. It's a long, arduous road, but it's a road that's paved with gold at the end, for sure. And we appreciate all your work that you're doing and all the committees and groups that are the beneficiaries of all your hard work. I greatly appreciate it. And I can say that because I know that throughout the years, being involved with Ashland Day and the summer concert programs, a lot of our programs that are free for that reason, because you folks are the ones that generate that monies for these free concerts on Tuesday evenings. So we thank you very much for that, as do the residents of town. And where you're new in town, every Tuesday night from, I had to throw a kick in, every Tuesday night since the 28th of June, Tuesday evenings, we have a free concert that starts at 7 o'clock at the gazebo at Stone Park. So hope you can be there. We'd love to see you there.
One thing I want to also just let you guys know, so on Zoom is Susan Roby, who you guys are all working with on all your everything related to marathon. Everything is going through Susan. So I just wanted to give Susan a shout out.
It says Beth Reynolds.
It says Beth Reynolds,
but it's actually
really
Susan Roby.
So she's waving. So I just wanted you guys to, I don't know if you've met her in person or not, but just wanted to put a face to the name because I know Susan, this is also a labor of love for her, and she works her tail off to make this program go without a hitch. So
Got some applause going up there, I see.
So the other thing, real quick, is we haven't discussed it or decided it yet, but we typically do a runner's breakfast the Saturday of Marathon
April.
weekend.
Yep.
So we haven't voted it yet, but I expect we will, so Susan will keep you posted if we do that.
Yep, breakfast at TJ's.
Yeah.
Everybody, you've lived
with
in
your
Ashland for a long.
family's welcome and all
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
So,
yeah. Yep. So bring
Come
bring
on
everybody.
down,
Yep.
fuel up.
We have to
Get
actually
ready.
vote it, which we'll do at our next meeting, but
Yep.
I expect it'll
I
happen.
think
sure
so
it will.
too.
Susan unmuted herself. I
Yeah.
don't know if
Great, Sue, if you have anything you would like to add to that.
No, I just unmuted myself in case somebody asked me a question.
Thank you. Well, thank you all very much. We appreciate it. And we'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to you all.
And I
Thank
hope
you,
all that
everyone.
snow goes away so it's a
Yeah.
little easier.
What a winter to be training.
I know,
Yeah.
right? Oh, boy.
So thank you again, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
And thank you all for your personal stories as well.
Yes.
It makes it so much easier for us and so much to appreciate your sacrifices. So thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
Take care, everyone.
Good night.
All right.
Well, that was fun.
That is
Yeah, those are
always
always
fun.
fun.
It's always a fun thing to do.
So do you
Take
want
care now.
do you
Bye-bye.
want a motion to reopen the
Yeah, I was
public
going to
hearing?
ask if someone would provide me a motion.
I will make that motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the public discussion and hearing is open for Smooth Route Premium Car Services LLC. And I would ask if Dimitri is here. How are you, sir? If you would come to the podium, please identify yourself and explain why you're looking for a delivery license, please.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. My name is Dmitry Schuster, and I live in town since '92
Nice.
for a while, and been doing different things, working in different fields, and this is my kind of the last tenure, and so I start doing this in beginning of the year, and one of the requirements is obtaining license from the town to do it the way it should be, legally, and so that's primarily a reason I applied for it.
Very
is to
good,
do
thank
it,
you.
the right way.
Great.
Thank you. I'll open up the board for questions. Previously, I have spoken to Susan prior to, and there are no letters against Dimitri's opening up or supporting it, either or. Okay, just to let the board know.
Just one question. Will you house the vehicle in a garage, just in the driveway? And what kind of signage, if anything, on the vehicle?
It's a garage. There is no signage. It's just a black suburban car, and it's always garaged.
Okay.
There's nothing outside, unless my door is visiting. No more space for her car. Anymore. Snow blower and
Yeah.
equipment.
Okay.
That
Great.
sounds
Well,
good to me.
No other questions. Sounds good.
Anybody else?
Always happy.
No? Then I'll
Happy to
entertain a
support.
motion.
I move that we approve the livery license, I'll get there, to Smooth Ride Premium Car Services.
Second.
Yeah.
All those in favor? Aye. That's 5-0. Dimitri, you'll get your license, and
Thank you.
you're
luck.
welcome. Susan,
Good luck.
how does he have to, can he come down to the town hall to pick that up at some point? Because I know that you won't be available, so,
Yeah, either I stop by, or I'll ask my wife to stop by,
okay.
pick up.
So-
If I need it, if I have to be there, I'll come. Yeah.
Go ahead, Susan.
Great, Sue.
The way the system works now is because it's all online. Once you guys do the approval, I'll go in, I'll finish it up in the system. Dimitri will get an email, he will print out his license, and he'll be all set.
Okay,
Okay, very good.
that's great.
So you don't have to go anywhere.
Oh,
That's great.
Yeah,
very easy.
very
All
good.
right.
We make it
Well, thank
simple.
you.
Thank you, and
Great.
best of luck, and good
Congratulations.
luck in your new
Good
endeavors.
luck.
Yep,
Thank you,
thank you.
Dimitri.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good night.
Good night now.
Also, I need to bring a check here or to Susan.
I would think it would be to Town Hall, to Sue Roby. Yep. Yep, and if Sue's not available, I'm sure Diane Mortensen could
Yeah.
to handle that as well. Okay? You're very
Thank
welcome,
you.
Dimitri.
Bye now.
Thank you. All right. Always nice to see people wanting to do certain things, and under old and new business, Article A has been withdrawn.
Okay.
I know that while I was away, and I appreciate Vice Chair taking care of business for me, and I know you guys had a discussion with access to town council and the process to seek town council. But I know that there was additional discussion, or wanted discussion about the expenses that expense policy has, and how other towns may seek council comment. Have you just?
Skipped over the budget?
Yeah, we're
Oh,
doing the
did we
budget
skip over the
first.
budget?
Yeah.
I did that purposely.
Yeah,
I
okay.
did that
I was
purposely
like,
because
whoa. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but we can do that. So, I'll be very honest, I'm gonna, yeah, well, hold on a quick second, because this is under old new business. Oh, yeah, you're right. Never mind. Just waiting for Michael to. Is this, I thought this was something I could do real quick before we started this. Do you think there's a need to have this discussion, or we already had it?
No, we need to continue the
Continue that
discussion
discussion,
of the
okay.
budget. Oh, yeah.
No, I'm talking about the other.
The access to
The
town
access to
council?
town
No, I think we
council.
need to have that, but let's do it
Okay,
in
we'll
order.
do it- okay.
The
I
only
just
thing I
wanted to
would
make
say
sure.
is, while Michael's pulling his stuff up, if we wanted to allow Joan to do her
Oh, yeah, Joni,
citizens' participation?
Oh, yeah.
Do that now, and then,
yep,
and anybody else
Yep.
who?
we deferred the citizens' participation at this point, but Joan, you had a couple of questions. I think you're able to unmute yourself, and if you have questions now?
It took a minute, but I'm there. Okay. Thank you. Joan Gonfrati, One Shore Road, on the Historical Commission, speaking as an independent resident. I'm hoping you've had a chance to review my calculations on water capacity. I'm wondering what your thoughts are. Will a plan be put in place to increase our capacity? Will the developers be asked to contribute? Could we have a moratorium? I'm very concerned about our water, and I'm just wondering what your thoughts are. And I have one other. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Joni. We all received it. I did read it over. I am far from being an expert when it comes to water sources and the supply and demand aspect of it. I haven't had an opportunity to speak to Dougie Small and Dan about the water supply and what we should do to help keep that capacity available. I know that we have an emergency pipe installation that would, if we had to utilize that would be part of the MWRA water source. And that, again, that is just for emergency purposes only, not for additional water source to add to our current water source that we have, so we could deal with future or potential developments down the road. Again, they're just for emergency access. So I would have to talk to Doug and Dan about those figures, and I haven't had the opportunity to. They've been a little tied up with respect to the blizzard and the contributing factors of keeping the roads open and clear and sidewalk maintenance at this time.
Okay, fair enough. I did send an email to the planning board also, because in the HPP, it says that we have plenty of water and plenty of sewer capacity, and I don't believe that's true, and I think that should not be written as it is. I know we have to talk about that probably in the HPP, and we need an HPP, but I would say that the references that are in there are not correct either. So I think that that should be corrected before the HPP gets approved. That would be my thoughts.
Okay, Claudia?
No, I know that there was conflicting numbers in the reports, and I think we do need to have that clarified, right? I mean, it was off by like 100,000 gallons, I think. Is that right, Joan?
Correct. Yes,
Yeah.
that's correct.
So, I mean, that's a significant, right
It
number.
is, and unfortunately, I haven't had an opportunity to talk with any of those that provided those figures to us, so.
Yeah, so, Michael, I don't know, maybe, would it be Doug Small that Joe should talk to about those conflicting gallonage?
About water and
Yeah.
sewer, yes.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
And I did, but knowing what he's been dealing with over the
Yeah,
last
no,
week
I
or so.
know, it's been a tough winter.
Yeah. So,
But
so if you can allow me the opportunity to speak with Doug on that, now that things hopefully are calming down weather-wise.
Yeah, while you're there, please thank him. They've done a phenomenal job in town, absolutely.
Yeah.
Go over cross town lines, and it's a much different story.
That's
right
for-
at the
that's for
beginning.
down
of the
shore.
course,
It's true, as soon as you hit that town line, you go, whoop.
Yeah, we know
it.
where we are.
Yeah.
You know it.
You know where we are, for sure, absolutely. So
Definitely, yes.
kudos to all the men and women that were out there doing what needed to get done, so thank you very much. And thank you, Joni, for that question, I appreciate that. But we'll get back to you on that.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, thank you.
Thank you.
I think we're ready, so, Michael?
Sure.
Good evening, everybody. Just wanted to give you an update on where we are in terms of the FY27 budget process and talk in a little more detail about what that $750,000 that would be shifted up into excluded debt service, what that expanded room would allow us to do. And then what would happen if an override did not pass and that money was not transferred? What would be some of the consequences? We're going to get into a lot more detail, I think, in terms of the overall picture and everything next week at the tri-board meeting. So tonight I figured I would focus on just the general government departmental budgets. But that being said, I want to give you a couple critical updates just on the overall process and the overall numbers. So the GIC, they still have not voted on rates yet, but what they did do is they voted on plan design changes designed to help minimize the rate increase. So a number of suggestions were made to the GIC in terms of how they could change their plan in terms of increased copays, increased deductibles. The biggest one was actually cutting off GLP-1s for weight loss. When it came time to vote, was it last week? It was last week, late last week. The GIC chose, the governor had sent a letter to the GIC saying she didn't support most of the plan design changes, but did support the GLP-1 restriction. That is ultimately the way the GIC voted. So what that means is that not as many costs are going to escalate for employees, but it does mean that the mitigation to the rate increases are not as substantial as they could be. So that's number one. And when are they going to, did they say when they're going to vote? They're going to vote tomorrow on the rates. And just so you know, that's an overall average increase. We'll know better once we see what plan each employee goes into. That's how we'll know the true figure once open enrollment is over.
Will we have a better sense? Obviously not open enrollment, but where the GIC falls in, that'll be part of the discussion on Tuesday, I assume, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Unless they punt it to another meeting, which could be.
But they know all communities are looking for this number.
Exactly.
So this isn't just us. This is, so.
It's very true.
So, Michael, I have a question, and, this might be one for our legislators when they visit us. But, so GIC initially, when the town went with GIC, which, 2015, 16?
Yeah, I did the agreement in 2015, and then it became effective, I believe, in 2017.
Okay, so there was a huge cost savings, right? And I think that was really part of, that was the motivation on the town side, and certainly on these insurers. They were motivated to get all of us to buy in, right? Which they did. And now, since that time, they have eaten away at the cost savings, and so now we're spiking. I don't know what's out there in the private industry or that, but it's probably pretty similar.
Mm-hmm.
So is there any conversation about a different approach now for government employees in terms of maybe getting out of the GIC if it's not bringing value to us any longer? Certainly, it's a huge number of people across the Commonwealth that partake, and one would expect that there would be some benefits, financial benefits, to communities and to the individuals who participate in the insurance.
It all depends. If you have a lot of people that join and they use the insurance a lot, it actually works against you. If you have a lot of people join and they don't utilize the insurance, yeah, that definitely helps. And that's known as your utilization rate. And so what was happening when Ashland first joined, not too many communities had joined. And so since that time, all these other communities were seeing the financial benefits, and so they would join. And let's just say municipal employees, for some reason, have a higher utilization rate. on the insurance than what was known previously. So that's one of the reasons why you're seeing an escalation go up. In terms of looking at other options, that's something that we've done really the last couple of times where we've had an opportunity to go back out, which is every 3 years, right, Catherine? So each of the last time we looked at that and looked at our utilization rate, it didn't make any sense to go back out. The vendors were like, yeah, we don't think we can be competitive on this.
Well, regardless, I mean, you say we were one of the first communities that joined, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there was significant savings, and now GIC benefits from, a massive number of individuals partaking, and it does seem like in some way, shape, or form, there should be some kind of benefit that seems to have slowly been
Chipped away at?
chipped
Yeah.
away at. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not.
Well, it's
but-
not. It's not.
Well, and that's the other thing, is the other nice bit of news that we received earlier this week is Keefe Tech voted on their budget. And so unfortunately, the increase
It's huge.
is pretty substantial. So $350,000 approximately. A pretty substantial increase that we weren't necessarily budgeting for. I don't remember exactly what we had originally, but we got a couple more of these big numbers to kind of get in before we can really feel like we've got good fidelity going into May.
Now,
But,
what was driving the
Yeah,
Keefe
that
Tech?
increase, what drove that?
budgetary, and we have more students going.
Oh, we do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
even
think
with
it was
the-
like 12 students.
Even with the new lottery program, we have more students going?
Yeah, so I think we had 12 more students this year.
For a
going in.
total of, do you know how many?
I don't have that one in front of me, so I can probably get it to you as soon as I get there. Yeah, so, yeah, that was a little bit of a surprise. So just going back to the 2027 budget and the departmental budgets, specifically looking at what the $750,000 would do to our departments in order to maintain services and really start advancing what the vision was in the comprehensive plan. And where really kind of our core is starting here is public safety. First, I'll talk a little bit about adding an additional firefighter per shift. So as our population has grown and as we look at some of the, buildings that have come online, like a couple of assisted living facilities, we've seen the amount of calls increase substantially. And what is happening now is, so the times where we have a couple of ambulances out and a third call comes in, those are starting to increase. And so we're finding ourselves in a place where we're not able to answer a third call. And we either have to essentially depend on mutual aid, or it just extends the response time that it takes for people to get their medical attention or God forbid, some kind of fire-related incident. So that would bring us up and allow us to potentially run 3 ambulances if we need to. And that's just because of the way the shift structure works. Additionally, what we're looking at doing in public safety is essentially increasing by 1 full-time equivalent in the police department to look specifically at traffic control. Now, what we need to look at a little more closely is to see, okay, does it make more sense to just bring 1 person on, or does it make more sense to expand overtime and allow different officers to use it at different points during the week, different points during the day? Still just evaluating data and seeing what makes sense from that perspective. So that's our public safety departments, and the total here is about $400,000 of that $750,000. Another thing we're looking at doing is establishing, really, it's more of a strategic and tactical tool called a strategic reserve. And basically, this would be a line item in the town manager's budget of around $60,000, a little over that, 60 and some change. That would really be utilized in case there were factors that we had not, thought of or calculated in terms of some of these other departmental expenses. Because we really tried to chip away at some of them, and we're really kind of cutting it close on some. And so the strategic reserve allows us, the flexibility to, okay, if we find out we might need a little bit more money here, to shift it over into that department. What I was thinking, and I'm not necessarily sure exactly how we can do this, but, if it's coming towards the end of the year and it doesn't look like we're going to need this, is there a way we can look at advancing some smaller projects in the comprehensive plan that maybe the implementation committee identifies? So that's a possibility as well. So moving forward to financial staffing support, and again, this would be under the town accountant's office. I've said this a lot, just how lean our finance team runs, and we're really at a critical point right now. Right now we have Stephanie and Paul who handle the finances for municipal departments and does a lot of stuff for the school department as well. And we have a really hard time being able to provide like some financial analysis and, really I think some of the more financial tools and planning documents that I think would help all of us get a better sense of what's going on with the budget. And then finally, this is really kind of the big initiative. It's not, you can think of it a couple of different ways. You could think of it as creating a new department or basically taking components of DPW and separating them out and giving them their own focus. But I would like to look at doing a buildings and grounds department. So we can start looking at maintaining some of these new investments in buildings that we've made, so significant investments. Start looking at making sure we're doing the preventive maintenance necessary for some of these buildings, not just the new ones, but we have 13 buildings on the municipal side that we have to take care of. And then we need to look at some of our critical older facilities, like the DPW facility. I think that's probably our next municipal facility to really look at is, and I don't want to say that happens tomorrow or, 2 or 3 years from now. Obviously, a building project, we know how long it takes. But I think it is something that really needs to be a focus on this department. And then the other thing is, and we've heard this in the comprehensive plan, we've heard it outside of the comprehensive plan, a dire need to increase the maintenance of our fields, but also look at expanding our fields. And we're starting to make some changes with taking the school fields and putting them back under the purview and the care and maintenance of the school department. That still leaves Grinsell and Stone Park, and then also looking at expanding. And so there's a couple of ideas of some places to potentially poke around that could be opportunities for us. So really this department would put we've heard Doug especially talk about our fields conditions, the resource intensive nature of our fields, and then also how we need to really start focusing on facilities, not just in terms of a Band-Aid approach, which we are kind of stuck doing now with our resource limitations, but start looking at it from a more proactive manner. Any questions? These are really the bulk of the ads. This ads
with the position of a director and then some utility and contracted services increases, this adds about 200,000 to the budget.
And that will be covered under the remaining portion of the 750.
Correct. So those are the big ticket items on the 750. Are there any questions or any comments?
Michael, you want to just explain about the 750 again? Did you start off by that?
I didn't, like,
Yeah.
where it comes from. And so when we went out to bond the public, or when we went out to borrow for the public safety building or get authorization, one of the things that we did was look at essentially splitting what was the debt service payment for that. All of that debt service was authorized to be excluded. We chose and said that we would carry, essentially what added up to half, $750,000. We would carry that, what they call inside the levy. So it wouldn't be like a debt, it wouldn't function as a debt exclusion. It would just function like it's as part of your tax base. So what we're proposing doing is actually shifting that up to excluded debt, which would open up that $750,000 in capacity within the levy. Hopefully that explains it.
Yeah, so basically we used up $750,000 of operating budget dollars on what could have been part of the excluded debt, right?
Correct. And if you look at the 2021 budget, you'll see those figures, basically to the penny, subtracted out.
Okay, and like you said, so that will free up our ability to use that 750 within our operating budget.
Correct.
By moving it.
Just to follow up to that question, so we're gonna free up $750,000 so we can use it for other things. How does it impact our excluded debt? Or is it just we're not now paying? Yeah, I guess, how is it impacting our excluded debt?
So
if it is.
So it's not impact, that 750 is not on our excluded debt right now. It's being paid within the levy.
Right, I understand that. So but
once
we're
we
now gonna
move
move
it
it
up-
to excluded debt.
Yeah, so it would be covered. We would raise it, through the debt exclusion portion of the tax bill. And so, trying to think of the best way.
Because we said $750,000 a year to help pay off the building.
Mm-hmm.
So do we know what is left on the building, and are we adding that amount to excluded debt, or are we just gonna say we're adding $750,000 to excluded debt on an annual basis?
Essentially the latter. It's not adding on to the total debt that needs to be paid. It's just how that yearly payment gets paid. And it equates to a little less than $100 per year on the average tax bill. Now, it would be a tax increase relative to what people are seeing right now. By that, I think it's like $98. The good news is, and the reason why it was proposed the way it is, if it was part of the operating override, that would grow at 2.5% as part of the levy each year. Because it's part of a fixed debt service payment, it actually is not going to go up and eventually will go away.
Do we have a forecast as to when that will go away?
22 years, I believe.
Left. Right?
Yeah, 22.
The 25 year.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I mean, it's a while, but it does go away.
Right.
So by doing this, right, instead of ultimately the $750,000 with the 2.75 million override request is 3.5, right?
Mm-hmm.
And by doing this, the 3.5 would then fall to our tax base, which would be 2.5% would be added to it each year.
The 2.75, not the 750.
Right, no, I know, but I'm saying
Okay.
if we did do that. Yeah, if we went for the 3.5, then that would become part of our base.
Correct.
Which then 2.5% on top each year. So by doing it this way, we move that to excluded debt, which does fall away eventually, and we only raise our base by 2.75, which gets the 2.5% applied each year,
Yeah.
right? And that, again, isn't to say that by moving it to excluded debt, there is an impact, a financial impact, but again, it falls away as opposed to adding it all into the base, which then gets compounded each year.
Yeah, and maybe that's the way to say it is, the tax increase will equate to 3.5 million, but only 2.75 million goes on the tax base that grows.
So I have a question on the strategic reserve. So what would be the process, like when that gets tapped? Is there like how do we see that as sort of a line item? Because I think if we're going to have a fund like that, we need to make sure we're aware of when it's being used and where it goes.
Okay, what I could do is I could provide like a quarterly report for you that shows if it's been used and how it's been used.
Okay, no,
Would that be?
Yeah.
Thank you. And if it wasn't used, what would happen to it? Would it fall to free cash?
Yeah, if it wasn't used, it would fall to free cash. Yeah.
Would it make sense to be notified when you're gonna use it? Or is this something that you think you're gonna need to be able to make just a judgment of, this happened and I need extra $5,000, so I'm gonna pull it from the strategic reserve?
Yeah, and I don't anticipate really being able or really needing to do anything until maybe the middle of the year.
Okay.
When we can kind of see that. But yeah, it is to provide a little bit more of that nimbleness. But again, I can always bring back to you kind of what what it was being used for.
And the idea would be that the strategic reserve would be used for things like a one-time thing where either it's a little more expensive than you thought, or something, there's an emergency that has come up, you need to replace not a boiler, because that would not do with $60,000, but
Right.
something like that. Okay,
Yeah.
so it would not be used toward salaries or ongoing expenses.
Well, no, it could be used for ongoing expenses. For example, let's just say, the way we've forecasted maybe bringing somebody on board, we're doing it for 3/4 of the year, right? We wouldn't have that person hired in the first quarter. Let's just say, for whatever example, we find a stellar candidate right away, comes on board maybe a couple weeks early. There's going to be a cost associated with that we wouldn't have necessarily planned for.
Okay.
And the other thing is, we ended up chipping away, kind of whittling away at some, and it's we're kind of cutting it a little bit close here. So this gives us a little bit of a buffer on a couple of those things too.
Okay.
Okay.
Could I, this is going back in the presentation a little bit, I just wanted to address about the firefighters. And just because I thought, you mentioned all of this, of course, but it's pretty significant when you look at the data that we've been given, and actually heard some stories as well. But it's a couple of things that I'm not sure people realize, right, is that frequently now, people, when they need an ambulance, they want to go out, they don't want to go to Framingham, they want to go out of town, right? So they go to Newton Wellesley, they go to Milford, and beyond sometimes, right? I know there was a case where they went to Brigham and Women's recently. And so this has an impact about how long they're unavailable, right? And so when we talk about, currently we run 2 ambulances, and then when we talk about moving it to 3, some of the rationale for that is that, and this is a startling number in my mind, that they're in 2025, there were 22,685 calls, and 1,035 were simultaneous, so 2. So that's kind of a startling number in my mind, that it's happening that frequently. And so, and then, again, then there's also mutual aid that we give and receive as well. So if we have both ambulances occupied, then we have to go to mutual aid. So your response time, it changes dramatically. So now instead of maybe being 4 or 5 minutes, it's going to be coming from Framingham, coming from Southborough, it's going to be significantly longer. So I think those are, significant things to think about in terms of, I don't think any of us, if you're calling 911 for an ambulance, wants to think about having to wait any longer than you have to.
Right.
And indeed, sometimes I'm not sure, but even the selection of the site for the police and fire station in part was so that it would be easy access to any side of town, so they can use the Fountain Street Bridge to get over the railroad tracks, right?
Yep.
And not have to be rerouted because of a train. So it's a significant piece that we have to, which is obvious, right? You want to get to somebody in a hurry, right?
Yeah.
That needs you. And so, I mean, I think too, just about the pictures from the incident on Myrtle Street not too long ago were pretty dramatic, and to think about, and how many people. And the other thing is, when you see, when I see an ambulance or something go down the street, or sometimes I'll first see a fire, probably a captain or lieutenant or somebody, right? And
in one of the
in the
SUVs.
SUV, and they go, and I say, oh, well, pretty soon there's going to be somebody else coming, and frequently it's a ambulance, or it's a fire truck, or both, and then there's usually a police car. So there's a lot of response involved in these calls, and I think sometimes we, don't really think much about that, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I think sometimes this is just one of our general, I don't know how to classify it. It's not necessarily a problem, but, we become victims of our own success in many ways. We try to, we have a team that really has a hard time saying no. And especially when you're in those public safety professions, that's really just not how you're built. I think what I've been hearing is just how dangerous it is for them also to operate at the levels that they are. And what's going to happen, or what I'm afraid is going to happen, is as the town grows and we still stay level at our service levels, the impact to each of them is going to be more significant, and eventually they leave. And then you start getting a reputation. Easton, which is a community that did not pass an override recently, one of those items was for firefighters. Not only did they lose that, they lost practically half their department, who felt like, well, if, there's, the support's not here, for their safety, they want to go to a community that they feel does support them. So they ended up having to contract out their ambulance service, not do it in-house anymore. So there's a lot of stuff that goes into this, I think.
Folks, it's not uncommon that when you see medical personnel heading off to a call, and you see a response of a police cruiser going along as well, emotions are really high at that location where they're responding to, especially if there are family members there. And medical personnel are there to treat the victim and the patient that they have to deal with. In most cases, the police officer that arrives is dealing with the family members that are upset, they're emotional, and they're trying to keep the peace and the calm so that the medical staff that's there can do their job to maintain a level of health for that individual and of health for that. And sometimes it can get a little scary, and sometimes the officer may have to detain an individual because they're just so out of it that they're impeding the medical treatment of their loved one, though they don't realize it because they're just so emotional. Does it happen all the time? No, but it does happen. So that's why you see all those responding officers. And then if you have to carry a patient from a stairwell, second floor, third floor. I mean, a lot of these new places now have elevators. Before they didn't. And you were going down a stairwell with that, with that individual. It takes personnel to carry that down, along with the stretcher and everything else that goes along with it.
Well,
Take it, I know.
recent weeks too, it's hard not to think about the challenges that, all of our public safety officers have faced with the snow in the way,
Oh, yeah.
right? And it's,
Absolutely.
It's,
Yep.
Yeah.
Last night was a prime example. We had, that snow came down, it came down with ice, and the combination of the two, they call after call after call within an hour's time frame. If they didn't have one, they had close to 20. Cars off the road, cars flipped over, things of that nature. So, yeah, it's not a pleasant task, and I hope everybody understands that. It's not all gravy all the time. And they're up at it, so just wanted to toss that in there for that extra support.
Well, that's probably a good way to lead into, so what happens if the 750,000 does not get moved? And I do want to be clear that it's a little bit different situation than what we're talking about with the school department. But in terms of like positions, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we're not going to face service level decreases. What we're going to see is a continued public safety gap, if you will, between what the needs are and the community and what we're able to provide. I probably get a call or some kind of correspondence about speeding at least once a day from a resident. I talked to a resident who has issues with that. Joe, I know, is part of the Roadway Traffic Safety Committee. It's something that's constantly in front of you.
Yeah, it's a number one, that's probably the number one concern and complaint.
Yeah.
The speeders.
And we've definitely picked up enforcement. But, we could definitely still use some additional help. Like we've talked with some of the firefighter and ambulance issues, or decreasing ability or increasing inability to handle multiple calls at the level that is happening. Claudia, you mentioned, ambulances going further out. We have policy, that help govern that to a certain extent. But a lot of what's happening is people don't want to go to Metro West.
Right.
And so they're going farther out and, keeping them off, keeping them out of Ashland for a while. We also would see pretty much no public safety presence at our community events. That's been something that we've had good responses on. Unfortunately, we wouldn't be able to continue that. We would eliminate professional development for everybody that's where it's not required. And professional development opportunities, we don't do a ton of them here, but the ones we do try to take advantage of them from a cost perspective, try to take advantage of free opportunities, but there's some that we just have to pay for, or departments just have to pay for. So this would eliminate that, which, obviously impacts our ability to provide services, especially stay up to date with things, and then also retain staff. We would have reduced maintenance of our outdoor properties. So with the transfer of the fields, we would could essentially be losing one FTE unless we can figure something out. And I think we would not be able to do downtown the way it's maintained now, which, over the summer was about once per week. They'd go in and do, they would hit it pretty quickly. As well as all of the properties that are being maintained by our contractor, Yellowstone, which from an acreage perspective is not necessarily a ton, but just they're really, really hard to maintain just by the shape of them and stuff. You take a big field, you can get one of those big mowers and, have it done pretty quickly, but some of these tighter spots require a little bit smaller machinery. We'll continue to face limited financial capacity, and it's going to get to a point where we're going to face some critical levels. I'm not a huge fan of setting people up to fail. And I feel like if we continue going down this road, we're setting up our finance team to not be successful between what we're asking of them and what they're able to do. And then essentially anything that we haven't really started in terms of community projects that aren't, life and safety related, would get put on hold. We would have to divert, basically to make sure that we're providing the services that we have to provide, we'll have to kind of move some things around, essentially.
Michael, can I ask a question with respect to town-side government? I remember several years ago, before the library got their accreditation, we were very close to losing the accreditation because of the number of hours that the library wasn't open. Is that a possibility that could happen with the lack of funding to keeping the library open as it is now? And secondly, with respect to public safety, would we lose the accreditation that we currently have as a result of these levels going lower than they require?
Well, I'll answer your last question first. I would say we wouldn't, so we're on the pace to get accredited, right? So, we're working on the policies now that we have a building that would actually, serve as allowing us to be accredited. I would say that process would slow down to get that next level of accreditation for sure.
Okay, and would there be any funding that we would lose as a result of not getting that accreditation?
Not existing funding, but future opportunities for sure.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anybody have any questions? I'm sorry, I put the... Yep. Where do you see that? I don't see that. Oh, okay. Michael, are you willing to take a question from the public on this matter? Right.
Yeah.
Julie?
Hello, this is Julie. Can you please discuss the final bonding of the Mendez School? It's gonna be permanently bonded, I believe, in the fall. What is that gonna add to this excluded debt?
Well, we wouldn't know the exact figure yet because we aren't bonding. We haven't gone out to bond yet, but yes, we do plan on going out in the fall for that last piece.
Is that in addition to the operational override, us paying for the entire public safety building? And this is in addition to all of that?
This would be so we're currently paying the interest on it. So yeah, we would have a principal payment associated with it.
Okay, so all these moving parts really needed to be added together. One more, because I went to all the meetings. The Pitaway roof, there was fields and roofs, 12 million. What are you planning on, how are you planning on paying for all that?
Julie, I don't have an answer for that right now. We don't have a plan.
Okay, so it sounds like it would be more debt exclusions. What I'm saying is people need to see the actual picture. This is all very nice spin, sensationalized, but we need honest amounts of what this is all gonna be. Because people are forgetting about this and we need that, and it's gonna be way more than people say. Anyways, thank you for taking my questions.
Yeah. I think there's a good point there about the Mendez, bond payment, and I'll see if we've included an estimate on that. I don't think we have, like a placeholder until we do go out to bond, but we should show that.
Yeah, the roof, they said the roof was 4 million and it had to be done. The fields, let's, it feels like people are picking and choosing to make things good. But, so if you could get a list of all the maintenance things for the new roofs. Excuse me, I'm noticing people talking. I'm speaking and people are talking. Well, I'm just curious what it was I said that everybody huddled.
I didn't understand what school you were talking about. That's what I asked, Julie. I'm sorry, my hearing is going just as bad as my eyesight, so I had to ask. And your contact is a little scratchy at best.
Yeah, well, that's my voice problem.
No, I'm just talking about your connect. Yeah, I know that's your voice, but your connection is a little low, so I'm having a hard time hearing what you have to say.
Okay.
So if I lean over to ask somebody a question, it's not because I'm being rude, it's because I'm deaf.
Okay, I think we need a list of the debt exclusions too, because you don't want to do all this and then, oops, next year, we need 12 million in this and that, and water and sewer going up, and, this sounds all hunky-dory, but, I don't think it's really accurate. So anyways, thank you.
I do want to just say, I can't speak for the school committee, and I was not at the school committee meeting that was last week, but I do know that Superintendent Adams had presented a budget and a restructuring to be able to fund capital projects. I don't know exactly what the plan is as far as when and how, like all those moving parts, but you're right, Julie, I know that there's, I think it's about $12 million in capital projects that the schools are that's been basically deferred maintenance. So I think Mr. Adams' plan is to restructure the school budget to be able to handle the capital needs within their operating budget. But that is all I think I know, and so a little bit, we're gonna be meeting on Tuesday
Right,
as
the
a
tri-board meeting. So that would be a
So-
discussion that we'll
Yeah.
have at the tri-board meeting.
Yeah.
And that's what when I was whispering, that's what I was asking Brandy about.
Okay.
Okay, Michael, you good?
No, yeah, if there are no other questions, we'll be prepared to see you on Tuesday.
I mean, I'll be very honest, thank you for the presentation. The figures and numbers are what they are. Who knows if they're going to get any better or any worse, we don't know until we get the real true figures from the governor's office. I know that we'll be speaking with Senator Spilka on the 18th, I believe.
Yeah.
And we can ask those questions as well. And, it's going to be a real eye-opener to the real facts. And I don't think anybody's sugarcoating this in any way, shape, and form.
And one thing I think that's, because, I think points are being made about our capital investment and our deferred maintenance. I think we have to remember, we didn't have a capital line until 10, 15 years ago. This town notoriously deferred maintenance for not just years, decades, aside from, a spat of some important projects, I think, in the early 2000s. But, yeah, I mean, water mains, I mean, I'm not talking about buildings, I'm just talking about sidewalks, roads, just no investment. And so now you're kind of stuck where everything kind of comes offline at the same time. And
we're known for doing things in bunches, right?
we're known for doing that
Right, we
once or
did 4
twice.
major projects
I remember that
at once, right? Town hall, community center,
The
the
library.
library, and then the high school.
high school, yeah.
Right, and then we've just done 2 major projects at once.
Public
Well,
safety
on,
building and
yeah.
Mendez, yeah.
Well, I would say we've got the Warren Barn, we've got Valentine, which, obviously is not over the goal line, but the barn is renovated. 126 downtown. Even some of the water sewer work that's not necessarily memorable. Until things go
or
offline.
as big, right?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So,
But,
okay.
And those are
Okay.
long-term projects, because, it's an
Oh, yeah,
ongoing
that's
project. It
ongoing.
never ends. It
So-
never ends.
I just want to, mention about the Tuesday night meeting with the tri-board, that's going to be a very important meeting for people to, really watch. And I believe it is it going to be in this room, Michael?
Yes, upstairs, yeah,
Yeah.
right here.
So, and it's going to be a significant discussion about the override, the $750,000, and the impact to the community, really. I know that Mr. Adams has already done some restructuring of their budget. They actually have some positions that, regardless of the override, that they are going to lose. And he's done several things. It might be somewhere around 12 positions, I think, that 12 or 13 that are gonna be lost, are just to try to tighten things up as much as possible. And so, and then another, I don't know, I think potentially without an override, like 25 positions. So that would be really devastating to the community and to our schools and ultimately to the community. And I can say that I've lived through that sort of thing happening in this town, where we did end up having to lay off multiple teachers, and I was on the school committee at the time. It was devastating. We lost electives at the high school, things that we never got back. And to this day, it's really, I think, a weakness at our high school that we don't have as many electives as a lot of school districts. And a lot of those things were related to Chapter 70 funding, which was so poor, and there's an impact. Sure, Karen's been in the Senate for a while now. She's done amazing work around school funding, but for all the years when we were not getting what we really should have been getting, and other communities were getting 3-4 times the amount of money per student as compared to us, it takes a toll, and it's really sometimes hard to ever make that
You
up.
never catch up.
You're always, you started so low that it's hard to catch up. So I think this meeting on Tuesday night is going to be particularly important for people to watch, to participate, to learn, to ask questions, and if you have questions that you have now, please go ahead and send them. You could send them to any one of us, to the select board, to Michael, to anybody in the school committee, or Mr. Adams. This is, nobody wants to pay more money. I don't want to pay more money. We pay a good amount, as do all of us. And we're not in a position, it's difficult, faced with all the rising costs that we've seen. And, we talk about health insurance and how that just goes through the roof, and our utility bills go through the roof. And those are things that we have such little control over, but we can control giving our students and our community the services, the education that they deserve and really need to become good citizens. So I didn't mean to go off on a speech
So
here.
part of the tri-board will be opening it up to the public to ask questions, is that correct? Has that been decided as part of the agenda for next Tuesday?
I have not had that discussion yet, but if that's what we want to do, then that's what we can do.
Also, just because we're talking about it, we'll talk more about it Tuesday, but there is going to be a public forum on Thursday, March 26th, hot off the presses. We just kind of started to get that finalized. And that will be something that we as a select board, if we decide we would like to sponsor it, I think that would be the right thing to do, and to also have, give the school committee an option to co-sponsor it with us, so we all are hosting it together.
I'm
And that
sorry,
will
do we
be
have a date as
the
to when?
26th.
Okay, so we need to post it at some point if we're going to be together as a board.
Who's organizing that? Who's discussing that? Who's?
So I've been working with Michael and Jim on getting that organized.
Okay, because I mentioned something to Michael too, so it's nice to hear a date, so I'd like to, if possible, participate.
Oh, yeah,
in
yeah,
some
yeah,
way.
yeah,
Okay.
absolutely, yeah, March 26th,
Yeah.
mark it on your calendars.
I know the FinCom was interested in,
Yeah.
in convening too.
Yeah, so
But
that will be a, you know, I think we haven't figured out exactly how it's going to go exactly, but the idea will be to present the budget, to present the situation, and be really just, it's a listening session for us to hear what people have to say, and for people to ask questions. And that will be, I think that's kind of vital to this whole process, is really having an open.
Well, it's critical.
open forum.
We
Yeah.
can't, we can't really do anything without doing that.
What time is that scheduled for? On the-
7 p.m.
7 p.m.
And thank you in advance to our friends at the planning board who are going virtual, so we can do it in this room.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Okay,
we're
that's
gonna do
where.
it here?
Yeah.
We're gonna do it here, so it can
Okay,
be,
that
so
was
it's
my next
easy to
question.
do it hybrid,
I
and
see.
so we can potentially have it recorded and
Got it.
everything else easily.
So it'll be put on our website so people miss it, they can watch it.
We will, yes, we'll,
Okay.
yeah,
Sounds good, thank you.
so, but more to come on that.
Thank you
Just
for
to let
scheduling
people
that.
know.
Okay, Michael, thank you very much. More information is always the best. So I'll skip down to where we went off. We had, folks had a previous discussion at the last meeting, which I was unable to attend. The process and access to town council and the expenses. Everybody saw in the packet there was policies, information regarding town council, policy setting up how to use town council and how to request town council from other boards and other committees in the town. We also saw policies, thanks to Sue Roby, who went online and got some additional sites as well from Foxborough, Webster, and Weston. So thank you, Susan, for doing that and getting that out to us. I don't know if you folks had an opportunity to read them over. Almost very similar to the process that we use. We go maybe 1 or 2 steps more on it, but which is okay. But I want to hear from you folks, your feedback on this. We want to make sure that this issue is not new. This issue came in front. I think, Yolanda, you and I were on the board at the time when committees were just calling up Lisa's office at their whim. And
Right.
and it was like, it was getting out of hand, and we had to,
But we've put something in place, right?
We
I mean, it's
did.
not-
We had- it's a-
Now they
it's
go
a-
through the town manager's office.
town manager's
and-
office, they have to fill out a form. and-
Right.
Right. I just,
Has it
Just
come up
reconfirm
again
that.
as an issue that people
Oh,
can't
actually-
access town council?
I'm sorry, can you all just kind of back up and talk about that process a little bit in more detail for those of us who weren't
so
part of
so
that
what was
initially?
happening,
So,
Nikita?
yeah.
Was that committees that had concerns or questions and issues, legal issues, they would just call Lisa's office without any prior knowledge from either town manager's office or the select board. They would just call directly. And of course, once you get that phone call, the meter starts running. Because they wanted some response, some answers to situations that either boards or committees found themselves in. And so the meter was running, and then we were getting these bills. Well, who gave the authority? Who authorized this? So there was no set policy. Now there is a policy that you have to fill out a form, goes to Michael's office, and then Michael contacts Lisa to either allow or deny, depending upon what the scenario is. That's just putting it in a nutshell.
So my question is, has it become an issue again? Because I thought we resolved it when we put that in place. So I don't,
I think it just came up because people wanted a reminder and just kind of what the policy is and just where ours originates from, which is our committee handbook.
oh, okay, okay.
So basically, you know, for our purposes too, so if we have questions for Lisa, that should go through you.
It helps, yes, just really kind of make sure everybody's kind of on the same page, and also for cost tracking purposes.
Okay.
And or when she's in the office on Wednesday morning, you could come in and spend some time with her if you need to.
Okay, so just so like we know what the feedback loop is. So if we send it to you, you send it to Lisa, we get copied on something that goes to Lisa.
Yeah.
That would be the process.
That's the process.
Okay, all right. Just so we're all kind of, we know what that looks like. Okay.
And I provided the cost information.
Yeah,
as
no,
well.
that was helpful because I think, thank you for doing that because I know that every year when we evaluate town council, one of the things we evaluate on is
What
reasonableness
they
of
actually-
fees. And it's really, like, it's been a while since we've looked at legal fees. And I think for me personally, it was really interesting to see what FY26 has been in comparison to FY25 from our legal fee perspective. I went back and I looked at the departmental budget, and it seems like, you know, we're on track to, we've allocated enough funds for legal fees based on, so this FY26 only really goes through January, which means we've got another
A year.
half a year. Yeah, basically half a year. That, you know, we've already surpassed FY27 by quite a bit. So,
But we also have a lot going on this fiscal
Right.
year that requires legal counsel, so.
yeah.
Just like our snow removal line.
Right.
You know, you put a base figure in there, that doesn't mean that's all you have. I mean, you just have to deal with it as it comes along.
Right. Okay, so we're not looking to change anything, it's just more of a review of our process, so that if a committee has a question, they know what the process is. Okay.
Yeah, and I think part of this too was, because I think I asked about this as well, and that was in fact because I had asked one of the attorneys a couple of questions and didn't get a response, was promised a response, didn't receive a response, and then I did speak with Michael about it, who followed up, and still hasn't gotten a response.
With the housing and
Yeah, there were a few questions, yeah, there was, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, we're good with that? Mm-hmm. For now? Okay. So that was just the explanation as to why, more than anything else. Because there are a lot of new people on different boards right now, so they didn't know the policy and procedure, so.
But I think I requested it because of exactly what happened with me.
Okay.
Okay.
I think that's where it originated and sort of took on a life of its own here, but it was,
Well, it's information that's helpful.
yeah, no, it's helpful information, but I just wanted to explain that I think
Okay.
that it was my request to have it on the agenda that.
Sounds good. Next on our agenda, under old new business, is update on 40B projects. I know that some of the projects are currently now in front of Concom right now. And is there anything else you want to add to that? or-
Well, I'll start with ZBA. So just they've got 55 West Union in front of them.
them right now?
And so their next hearing is on March 10th. That meeting is going to be Zoom only. So they've completed their stormwater peer review, or the traffic peer review is complete. And they're just now going through the civil.
Is the traffic review on their site?
It should be. I didn't check
Okay,
it.
I did,
So
because I hadn't seen it. All right,
Yeah.
so.
But it should be under the cases before the board.
Okay, all right,
On their webpage.
thanks.
Let's see, and then just conservation, so, excuse me one bit. Pull up my update, of course, I froze. So they had the first update, or excuse me, the first hearing for 10 to 60 Main on Monday. So they, Concom has a very established process for 40Bs. And so they basically spent that first meeting kind of describing what the process is and what they're looking at doing. I think probably the main topic of discussion was a peer review of the RAM report. So it looks like there might be some disagreement there between the applicant and the Conservation Commission.
Can you remind us what the RAM report is, please?
Oh, sure. So the RAM report is what remedial action plan, which is what the applicant would send, or the landowner sends to DEP. It basically says, this is our plan for redeveloping the site, et cetera.
And they have to do that because of the plume and everything.
Yep.
Like
And
that
the
related
other
to that property.
contamination
and
on
other
the site.
Yeah, so not every site has a RAM.
Correct.
But
It's
this one
specifically
does
related
because
to
of-
the plume.
The scenario, right?
Yeah, and so the RAM is it created by the owner, or is it created by the DEP? The DEP writes the RAM and says, okay, now this is what has to be done.
No, it's written by the applicant's LSP.
Okay, licensed site professional.
Licensed site professional. And so, yes, that's submitted to DEP for review.
Okay. And so I feel like there's been more than one RAM for this project?
They need to be filed, I think, every 3 years.
Oh, okay.
In fact, one of the things that came up at the Conservation Commission meeting was that their current RAM plan that they had submitted had actually expired since they had turned in their application. So, the commission, I think rightly so, requested an updated RAM plan.
Yep.
And so it's their LSP that, I did attend some of those meetings where they did talk about the LSP now, who in Massachusetts is paid for by the applicant or the developer, which I know some people, understandably so, find that a little bit troubling, right? But it is tied to their licenses and all of that, so. And then we could have an LSP review it, or the DEP reviews it, right? And it has to meet certain things with DEP, so.
Yeah, DEP reviews it, but actually, like our Conservation Commission wants to do a peer review from the environmental health angle. So again, that was kind of, I think, a sticking point, it sounded like, between the applicant and the commission.
And that particular project has the plume, the Nyanza plume that it's on, and then additionally, because it was an industrial site, there's contaminants in the soil.
In the soil itself.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Yeah, and then 61 Waverly is, moving forward at the Concom. One of the bigger issues was related to some stormwater infrastructure that, originally 61 Waverly seemed a bit resistant to participate and help and fix, but they have come around to being willing to do that. So that's really kind of helped them keep moving, I think, in the process.
So did I miss something, because I was watching that specific portion of the meeting? Were they willing to fix the culvert that's on Waverly Street, which is 135? Or were they willing to fix the pipe that goes to the culvert? That's what I couldn't understand.
I thought they were going to do replacing the stone box culvert or installing a liner or, and replacing the 12-inch pipe.
The 12-inch pipe. Okay, then I misunderstood that. Okay, so they are working on the culvert itself. Okay, that's good. Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay.
Okay.
Any other
No.
tidbits? We're good? Okay. Discuss the legislative earmarks. And I know that we'll be meeting with Senator Spilker on the 18th. If there are any concerns or questions that you folks have with respect to budget, additional funding, which is drying up faster than, actually receding faster than my hairline, I would say that we need to make sure we ask, the pointing questions to Karen, to make sure that we have some information that could help us budget-wise down the road. So unless you have any additional things you want to bring up?
Yeah, I think I provided a memo to the board just with the few ideas. I think, and I'll just run through those. Number one, we did hear about, earlier, the capital expenses in the schools. And I don't think we'd be able to get like a $12 million earmark, but, I do think we would be able to get some support. But what I would recommend, if you're, actually, why don't I just go through the three items?
Go.
Next would be to help fund the community center renovation. It's true that 86% of the funds are not taxpayer funds. There's still some like local revolving funds being used. So, any additional funding we get for that would offset any local funds that we have. And that is moving along. Catherine's going to give more of an update about that. And then last is just funding for downtown parking and transportation improvements. Kept it pretty general, but, we were able to get some, funding from 10 to 60 Main for parking improvements. We could maybe combine things and look at, if you want to move forward with the police station and demoing that and creating like, a public parking type of scenario, or maybe, infrastructure, or maybe Tilton. But that would be a resource. So those are the three. And, what I'd recommend is, if you're amenable, that I work with Superintendent Adams on a couple of specific items for number one. And if you're good, I'll submit a request for all three.
I'll open it up to the board. Your thoughts?
I think that works. Also, I just want to take back what I said before, because I've been corrected about the 12 million in capital projects within the school budget. Like, we're still figuring, there's,
You got an alarm,
I've been
huh?
corrected.
I saw Paul jump on. I think he was getting ready to correct us, and then we walked away from it, so. I was gonna be very surprised that they were gonna be willing to take that much money, considering they don't have any real
Right,
capital.
so I'm sure we'll talk about this more on Tuesday, but I just wanted to do a mea culpa and say, sorry, I misspoke. So, sorry, Paul, I know you're listening. Anyway, I'm good with this list, and I would say, I'm happy to prioritize the school's capital improvements as sort of like the first items on the list.
Would it behoove us to invite Jim at our next meeting with Karen?
I was going to see if you wanted to invite the school committee and Jim as part of that.
What do you think?
Why not?
It can't
I mean,
hurt.
they always,
Right.
I don't know that Karen and Jack go to the schools.
Yeah.
So certainly to invite them while they're here, why not?
Okay.
Makes
Can't
sense.
hurt to ask.
Yep.
Let's do it.
And invite them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to send that email? I'd be happy to do it. What do you want to do?
Susan, can we make sure we do that? Invite the school
Do it
committee?
right now.
And I also support this letter to request earmarks. I think it's good. I think it's three positive things that would be very beneficial for the community.
We don't need to take a vote on that, right? We can just say, go ahead, Mike, and you got it.
If you're good with it?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Discuss the comments regarding housing production plan. So, it was a good meeting. What I saw was a very good meeting. A lot of good points and stuff, so shall I hand it over to you for a brief?
So just as a reminder, I'm not involved with this year's housing production plan, but I do have comments. So,
Okay.
let me pull up the document that that Jasmine sent us, and I had some questions.
Did anybody comment and provide to Jasmine? I know that she was a
Well,
little
I think,
tardy in
I
getting
think we were
the
gonna, talk about it tonight, and then we were gonna get any kind of comments to her after the meeting, I think, today,
Yeah.
but, I think there are a couple of things, I mean, as you're pulling up, Brandy, I think there were a couple of things that kind of piqued some questions for me when we were discussing housing production. I don't know if this is on your list as well, but, I am kind of curious about the process when we were identifying, parcels of land. I'm not clear on how that was done, and, we very clearly saw that some of those parcels wouldn't be appropriate for
Unusable.
development. So, I mean, I do have a little concerns. I do have some concerns there, and I actually want to find out how do we proceed, in identifying those parcels in an appropriate manner. I think that's a key concern that I walked out of that meeting with the other night. I have a couple other comments, but I think you've got your notes up, so I'll let you answer your questions. Then I'll jump in later.
So I guess, okay, let's see. So just going through on page 12 of the document where we list the strategies. Strategy number 11, where it says preserve existing affordable housing stock, and it says, part of it is like, establish a monitoring system for expiring affordability restrictions, blah, blah, blah. Create a town-funded preservation fund to purchase and renew restrictions or facilitate nonprofit acquisition of at-risk properties. Isn't that what the
Housing,
housing
affordable housing trust
Affordable
does.
trust is,
Yes.
like, that's
Yes.
already a thing,
Yes, that's
right?
exactly what
Yeah.
it does.
So,
Yes. So that's probably not something that needs to be in there, or they replace it with,
right, it just seemed like
it's redundant.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, and I think,
or maybe,
Yeah.
maybe instead of create a town funding preservation, maybe enhance the town. like
enhance or
some-
utilize, or just say utilize it. I mean,
Something
that's a
like that.
recommendation, but not create.
Better utilize.
Better utilize,
utilize.
perhaps.
And put the affordable housing trust in there
Right,
as.
say-
as-
Which is
Yeah,
weird,
but
because
maybe
it
describe the
it
affordable
actually
housing trust.
mentions the affordable housing trust as item number, it says,
Yeah,
so I'm I'm actually a little confused now, because I don't know what that's referring to.
yes.
So maybe we could get some clarification on that. Because number 10, it's right there on number 10, like strengthen the affordable housing trust.
Because there is a barrel of CPC monies funded directed to the
Right.
affordable housing trust for that purpose.
Perhaps there's a misunderstanding of what the affordable housing trust, what its function is. That's what I'm kind of reading from this document, so, yeah. We could get that, that's easy to correct.
Yeah, send
in
them a
those
mission statement from
recommendations.
the Affordable
Yeah.
Housing Trust, because it describes everything that needs to
Well,
be done.
maybe the way to update that is support the Affordable Housing Trust
Trust.
Commission in doing these things.
Right,
That's a valid point.
yeah. That work.
And then I put a note in here, and now I'm like thinking I wrote the wrong number down, but I had number 15, but I don't think it's 15.
Is what?
What do you need?
But it was talking about, oh, here we go, yep. So it says explore home ownership support, it's on page 13. Support in partnership with regional organizations, and it says, and delivered in partnership with regional nonprofit housing organizations such as the Metro West Collaborative Department? Like, is it
I
like the
don't know
regional
what the Metro West
collaborative?
Collaborative Department is.
Maybe
Maybe it's the Metro West Regional Collaborative? But
And then
we
part of
don't,
like
but they
MAPC,
don't
and it's
do.
MAPC.
Yeah, but the Metro West Regional Collaborative doesn't do, I mean, we talk about housing, but it's not like we'd be able to go to that organization and say, can you help us support
Right,
affordable
can you
housing?
provide us funding? Right.
Potentially MAPC, Metropolitan Area Planning Council, could help with some of that.
So I'm just flagging stuff,
Yeah.
so.
Yep, no, this,
And.
Well, that kind of ties to like 18, right? Because like, one of the recommendations there was like strengthen housing implementation through regional partnerships. It seems like they're trying to advocate for like the creation of a body, but if there are existing bodies that or existing organizations that concentrate, that can be helpful in this regard, like, there's a way that we could assemble those sort of regional partnerships, right?
and add that to line 18 and make a list of those agencies that are available.
I mean, I think, it's mentioning like,
There's a Metro West Collaborative Development,
Yeah,
right,
which is different. Maybe that's what they're looking at.
So.
maybe
just-
that's what it is, I don't know.
Yeah, so
It's
I'm
kind of
just
confusing.
I'm flagging.
Yeah,
Flag
yeah,
it.
yeah, flag it, yeah.
And then to the point where we were talking about the town-owned land and private key sites.
Yeah.
I think that needs to definitely be re-reviewed. Because you look at
Yeah,
the
that's-
Oregon Road and, so it's, basically it's looking at Briasco.
Right.
And the land in the town forest that is sort of an at-risk parcel that we've talked about, yeah.
And then they were talking about wetlands over up.
Well, the wetlands, like, that's not gonna happen, I mean, because,
Unbuildable.
yeah.
It's just like, don't put them in there
Well,
if they're not buildable.
Again, it kind of goes back to like what I'm trying to figure out is how did those recommendations land on that map in the first place? I just want to find out like how we can proceed so we can get some viable recommendations that make sense. And so I guess that's my concern. Like, I don't even know how that happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then other things, like as I was going through it, like when we were looking at Site 4, which is the town center, it says 3 town-owned vacant parcels. And I'm thinking it's probably Corner Spot, the Ashland Farmers Market.
Right.
And
Yeah, I think, yeah.
I don't think I'd like them
So-
referred to like that.
Yeah,
Right.
so I don't know if we want to.
How can we help here? How can we provide some assistance to make sure that we're looking at viable parcels here,
And then add Olive Street.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and Olive Street, of course.
Olive Street should definitely be
Yeah.
in there, that's exactly what.
That's what it was purchased for affordability.
Yeah, I think if you want to, consolidate your comments,
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we'll do that.
yeah, that would be.
But I'm saying like the comments are one thing, but the actionable, how it happens is another. And my question is, okay, we'll offer our comments, but how do we make sure that they don't come back with something similar because they're following the same process that gave us this in the first place? That's what I'm asking about. So
It is a little troubling, I mean, we paid them to
it-
do this, and did somebody look at a map and say, look, there's no houses here? or
right.
something?
So I'm trying to figure out how that happened and if we can be, or the town can be of any sort of assistance to like let them know, so that we can get a better group of viable parcels so we're not going back and forth like this.
Well, there's.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, the MBTA zoning committee looked at a lot of these parcels that were available for
Okay.
building. So, I know Trish's, Paul is listening as well, but, I mean, there are some of those sites that could be added to that.
Okay, yeah, I mean, that's the kind of information that the consultants could definitely, utilize as they go through for recommendations, but that's what I'm looking for, Joe, like, how can we help here? Right,
And there's properties right along, Cordoval Road and Ponderosa Road for that matter, that are available for something similar.
Yeah, I mean, I do think if there are sites that you don't see that could be prime sites for redevelopment, or, that would be something that you.
So who has that?
Yeah, who has that?
Planning
Yeah.
must have a record of those sites, right?
right.
So
Can they,
that's what should be in here.
yeah, that they should work with planning to get those sites.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think, and I haven't really been involved in this project, so,
Alvaro had a lot of those GIC maps available.
Yeah, I just, I was a little surprised when I did look at some, just because I thought a lot of information was coming from the comp plan process too. And there were some specific parcels I remember Peter and I saying specifically, like.
The other thing I find interesting in this, as you're looking at some of the pictures and some of the parcels, they keep bringing up the the overlay of the photovoltaic installation overlay district, which prohibits residential use. So that must be them suggesting that we change zoning to allow residential use in those areas, right? Otherwise, they wouldn't bring those parcels up.
Well, it's interesting because the solar photovoltaic is an overlay. So meaning, that the underlying zoning should stay. It's just you.
Well, they're
you
mostly
vote-
industrial.
Yeah.
So that's
yeah,
why.
Mostly they're
Yeah.
industrial sites.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the other thing, I just want to make sure that, what they were charged with is not providing you a recommendation. This is what they think is the right thing to do, with the understanding that there's going to be comments back, well, no, this is what we think. An iterative process in a way.
Okay.
So but I want to make sure that I'm capturing, that I'm doing what you need me to do.
So just to be kind of, just so for clarity.
Right.
So it seemed like at the planning board meeting, we were gonna discuss our feedback here today.
Yep.
And then it was gonna get consolidated and sent to them. Do you need us to send individual comments, or are you guys consolidating the comments? and
As we're
sending it
talking
to
As
about
we're
it now.
talking now.
Oh, I thought you were going to put them together afterwards. If you want to send it to us individually, we can consolidate them.
Okay, because I know Jen said that she needed things like tomorrow, because like the tight timeline is the problem.
Yeah.
So, the parcel discussion, like.
Can't we just do it right now?
Yeah, can we?
That's what I thought
Yeah.
we were kind of
Yeah.
doing.
Okay.
Because we don't want to all send that we don't,
And then
that
go
they need
back
some
and-
parcels, right?
Yeah.
Because it could be quite repetitive and you don't want.
Yeah.
That's the other thing too, so.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was out for some of this. Okay, Catherine's got it.
Okay.
Okay.
Catherine is on the job.
So isn't Gemini.
Okay. Did anyone else have any other comments on the parcel thing, or I have a couple other additional comments.
Go for it.
Go for it, okay. On page 48 of the document, let's see, 48? Hold on, sorry. So we talk about Ashland is, because it's talking about people employed, like employment opportunities in Ashland and the jobs and such. And it says Ashland is situated in a strategic location within the regional economy, located with easy access to 90 and 495. The community offers proximity to significant regional job centers. I think we also should include that we're on the commuter rail, and that has been a significant reason for just access to the commuter rail has been a big thing.
That's been a great addition to the town.
Oh, yeah. No.
Well, it goes to explain like why they're like, well, there seems to be a mismatch between like, what, the imbalance between local jobs and local residents does not point to a clear cause. Well, you got the commuter rail. That's why, there are a lot of, it's proximity,
yeah.
it's proximate to why people choose Ashland to live, and then they may be choosing Ashland so that they can get into Boston or Worcester easier.
Yep. Halfway between both.
And then, sorry, I don't want to cut anybody. Did you?
I was just going to, this is sort of a different point, but, it talks about expanding home ownership opportunities because it builds stability and everything like that, and yet, in reality, we're faced with, the fiscal reality of that type of development isn't attractive to a lot of developers, and then all of our 40B projects are not home ownership, or don't expand home ownership. So again, you know, and you are, it does decrease stability in the community when you have more transient populations, right?
Is there anything here in the, and I can't remember because I read it a few days ago. But is there anything in this plan that mentions that?
Expanding,
Expanding home ownership?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's,
can't, because I remember talking with them about
it's
it,
on
but
page
I can't remember what page.
23, number 15.
Number 15, okay. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I thought I saw that.
I mean, there's a lot in here, it feels to me, that aren't necessarily something that works for us, or.
Yeah, I mean, so, you
Yeah,
know, in
some of it
fairness,
is
this
very
isn't-
generic,
It
right?
is,
Yeah.
because
Yeah, right.
it's not something that we're not gonna implement every single little thing
Right.
that they put in here.
No.
And- yeah.
It's suggestions and it's, you know, it's, and I like the way that they, talk about like staying in safe harbor is like our number one.
Right, and
goal,
that's part of,
which
that's
is
really
part of it.
the
Yeah.
driving force here,
Yeah.
Right.
right? Is
Yeah, yeah.
staying in safe harbor, which I understand. It's just that it would be nice if we could do some of these things, and it's just that it just feels like, you know, the cards are stacked against us so often when it comes to housing, right?
Right.
Well, I mean, I do think maybe part of the recommendation going forward is to try to find more opportunities to do these sort of things and like prioritize it in a way that's something that we, you know, as a town, it's something we care about and something we want to pursue and make it a priority, you know, as we go forward. I mean, like I said, we're not going to be able to do everything here on the plan, but I mean, stating it as such, I think might make some sense. Does that make sense to you, Claudia? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, I agree. You know, we do want to see more home ownership as well. We want to make sure that people have opportunity to get on that path. You know, there's a lot stacked against it. Like the economy is is a big one in the room, but you know that doesn't mean that we shouldn't stop trying, right?
Yeah. No, it doesn't.
We also want to make sure that the folks that are residing here can still stay here and can afford to stay here.
Right.
You know, senior citizens that are slowly getting, you know, pushed out because of the cost of living and keeping a home here, paying for everything else. It's just, you know, I'm sure I'll hear that again tomorrow when I meet with the, you know, Council on Aging. So, and they're all worried about that, and rightfully so.
Something that I find interesting in this document is what they're expecting are, you know, the projection of our population is now 27,000, whereas 10 years ago when we were looking at these projections, even before that, our build out was only going to be like 22,000. So I didn't get to ask this when we had Goldson, but I'm like, what's driving that additional 5,000 people? Like, where do they think they're going to go?
Well, is it the apartments? Was that original 22,000 based on, you know, some apartments?
No,
and
I mean, it
some
was probably
single-family
built
homes?
more on like single family and
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the
townhomes.
apartments.
So that's
Yeah.
not,
That
but
would potentially be the difference, right?
Right.
Yeah. And also 40B goes around local zoning.
That's
So
right.
even if things were zoned for
Right.
a certain density, you know, 40B allows
Yeah.
higher density.
That and other projections around, you know, regionally, like, you know, I know people say that we're losing folks all the time in Massachusetts, but, you know, there's still going to be growth, you know,
Yeah.
so it's a confluence of factors, I think.
So I have a couple more specific
go right ahead.
comments.
Continue. Go ahead.
So on page 80 of the document, Joan Goodfriday had mentioned this. I think it's just the way that it's worded. Ashland's wastewater collection system similarity demonstrates ample reserve capacity. I know we've talked about it, that the agreement we have with Framingham actually really restricts our wastewater capacity. And given what we've got, I know Joan is concerned about water. I'm more concerned about waste, to be honest. Because water, we have that connection with MWRA. And while it would be expensive, it's really the wastewater stuff that is.
We're paying for.
We're paying for, yeah, well, we're just limited. We have a limited capacity. So it may be, you know, maybe it's something about like, we need to monitor it, or we need to like ensure that there's capacity following these 40B projects or something. Just acknowledging that's an issue, because I think it actually is an issue.
Right.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I'm moving on, so I didn't know.
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
I'll bring it up later.
On the next page, on page 81, the title of the chart that says school enrollment on the rise after years of decline. I don't really think that that's the case.
That's a good one.
It's never been in
Is
decline.
is that true?
No,
That
the chart
doesn't-
right next to it shows that
Because
they're
that
always
does-
going up.
Right, right.
The only dip was during COVID when people.
Well,
weren't
yeah, I
going
mean,
to
because
schools.
COVID.
Yeah.
But like, that's not accurate.
There's a little bit of a leveling off, but it
Right.
really didn't decline.
No.
No.
Somebody looked at the graph and didn't put any context with it.
So.
That's exactly what
Yeah.
happened.
So anyway, we need to change that title of that chart.
Yeah.
And that's it for me. So I know I'm a lot, but yeah.
No, that was awesome, thanks.
No, thank you. That
You
was
went
great.
more through a fine-tooth comb than ever, so thank you.
This is what happens when I worked on the last housing production plan, so I'm looking at things kind of in that,
Oh, you have,
in that vein.
you have that
So.
eye for it, so thank you.
Hit that.
Yolanda, anything else you would like to add, or?
I have to admit, I did not get the opportunity since Thursday to get more detail on this, so thank you, Brandy, for
Yeah.
doing the work on this one.
They're about halfway
I know,
through it.
you know, the critical thing is, one, we need the information right, but the critical thing is we need to get this passed and into the state so that we have it
Yep.
on the books
Yep.
to protect us. And of course, continuing to do the work to make sure we get more affordable housing. And to Claudia's point, you know, we need to find ways to make affordable purchasing, right? I mean, home ownership is critical, and, you know, we can have the best plan in the world that can talk about that, but unless we, as a town, decide to spend money and actually build more affordable units for purchase, it's gonna be hard to do, so, which is why, you know, it's good we have the Affordable Housing Trust, and you have some funds, and it would be good to look at some, I know you guys always are working on that, so.
Yep.
So
I know
just-
that Beth is going to be, I'm sorry.
Oh, no,
I know
sorry.
Beth is going to be sitting down with us in Habitat with respect to Olive
Olive
Street,
Street.
so hopefully there'll be.
And my recommendation
If they
for
have not
Olive
already,
Street
you
is
may.
small homes,
Yeah, they are small homes.
Yeah.
like
They are small homes.
900 square feet, if that, you know.
It
Right,
max
for-
maybe 1,100.
You know, it needs to be either for seniors moving in so they can move out of their
Or
larger
starters.
homes.
Or starter
Or
homes.
starter homes,
Yep.
right?
Yep. No, that's been agreed upon with the Affordable Housing
I
Trust.
know you guys have looked at that for a while for Olive Street.
Oh, it's 7 years. 7 years we've been looking at it.
Yeah.
So just, next steps with the housing production plan, so, we're gonna see this again before we vote on it, right? So we'll get the comments into, you guys will consolidate, get the comments into Jen. And then I think we're supposed to be voting on this at our next
On
meeting.
our 18th meeting on the 18th.
On the 18th?
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
So if we can get that before that weekend, just in case to catch anything else that may slip through the cracks.
And Jen needs these ASAP.
yeah, I think, at the planning board meeting presentation, she said, basically, it was fine for us to give comments today, but she needs them tomorrow. I think tomorrow is
The
Okay.
ask.
the ask,
Yeah.
unless I'm not remembering that.
No, tomorrow was the ask.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because originally it was like
You know,
Monday.
the sad thing with respect to that,
That's right.
we got it late. The points that you all brought up were very valid. points that should have been caught before they were presented to us, and they weren't. So for her to say that she needs them tomorrow, well, okay, hold on a sec.
Well, the timeline is our timeline. So
And it's
It's
not,
our
and it's
time.
not
Yeah.
the consultant's fault that we didn't get this.
No, I'm not saying
Okay,
that it is,
well-
but I'm just saying, you know,
Well, and to be fair, like, honestly, Jen's presentation was presenting the results and
Yep.
presenting
Right.
everything to
Sure.
us. And, like, we wouldn't have had an opportunity to really, like, discuss the actual nuts and bolts of that at that meeting. Like, we wouldn't have dove
Right.
into headlines and charts and, like, that wouldn't have been what that meeting was for, so, you know, I honestly, I think it's fine that we're talking about it tonight and
Of course.
But it's, you know, the
No, I
timeline
think-
is our timeline because
Right.
we're trying to maintain safe harbor, so
yep,
Yep.
that's, so.
okay. Are there any additional facts or points that you want added to these comments? That Brandy has made, Makita?
Send them by
Yolanda?
2 a.m.?
Yeah, by 2 a.m. You're more than happy to email me that, because I'll be up anyway, so what's the difference?
I hope you're not up at 2 a.m., but
I
that's a
am.
whole side note.
Can we, one real quick thing only, I'm getting, just reviewing. It says our current, affordable housing is 5.8%? Can we verify that number?
I think it's 11.4 now. There's something in here that says
We have
it's
a
11.
we don't have, we're not over 10%.
We're not
are.
over 10%.
We are
Right.
because the two
Because of the
projects,
approvals.
the comprehensive plan, the comprehensive permit, when that was filed, the units for both 10 to 60 Main and
61 Waverly.
61 Waverly went on our SHI.
Okay, then we definitely
Oh,
need to,
So,
So
okay.
which,
to up-
where, because I saw 11.4
when the community
somewhere.
subsidized housing inventory is below the 10% threshold, currently 5.8%. Maybe I don't have an updated version. I'm on page 86. The ZBA reviews powers for comprehensive permits under Chapter 40B are significantly limited. That statement right there.
I'm sorry, what page are you on? I just want to.
86.
86.
Okay, sorry. Thank you. Oh, in the call out. In that call out.
In the-
At the,
Yeah,
towards
it's
the
a call
bottom.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah, under the ZBA, yeah. Because there is something in here now, I can't remember what page it's on, but there is something that says that our current SHI is 11.4.
Yeah.
But that should
It
get,
needs to be
that should get
updated if-
updated. Yeah,
yeah.
that section.
Well, it's a good catch,
That is a
Yolanda.
good catch.
Yeah, it's on page 30. It says Ashland's approval of 240Bs totaling 476, increases the town's subsidized housing inventory from 5.8 to 11.4.
Okay,
So that's
What page was that again, Claudia?
That's page 30,
Thank you.
number 5.
okay.
Bless you.
All right, that's all I got.
Okay. So I know that Catherine has writer's cramp right now, so.
Catherine's like, that brandy check. No, I'm kidding.
Well, thank you for following up on
Yeah,
all of
no,
that.
that's-
Thank you. So we're good with that?
We're good.
So we'll get that back to us and
Yep.
we'll send that off to, once we get it back, we'll send it off and we'll be good to go? Okay. All right. Good. All right. Update on the Metro West Tourism Summit. And I will turn that over to Michael.
Yes, so the Metro West Visitors Bureau had their annual meeting on February 26th. And so the focus of their annual conference this year was really all about FIFA and the World Cup coming.
And Foxborough not taking the $8 million.
Well, yeah, there was a little chatter about that, as you can imagine. But you know, it was a longer program, but very well attended. It was over at the Renaissance, excuse me, not the Sheraton anymore. But it was also great because Beth was on a panel about
Nice.
pop-ups, and so of course she did a great job. But
Yeah, this FIFA World Cup thing is Metro West is definitely going to be
How,
impacted.
how so? Where are they playing that we could see
Foxborough.
impact?
Foxborough, and then they're going to have like watch parties in Franklin, in Marlboro as well, which are apparently pretty extravagant affairs. So,
Okay,
yeah.
Anything we can do to make some money off of it?
yeah, what can we?
Get out of their way. They're actually very notorious about not paying for anything.
Who?
Who's this now?
FIFA. Yeah.
Because didn't we do World Cup in like '92, if I remember correctly? And I
There-
say
there
that
was-
only because I believe Gillette was a big
They would-
supporter of it.
Yes. Yes,
I was
they
working for
were.
them at the time.
Yep, they were.
So, more, that's coming in June, so more information on that. We'll hear more about it for sure.
Okay.
You want me to just
Keep going.
keep going?
You're good.
Nothing new on Zero Cross Street. They haven't tried to pull any.
No, they didn't, and I,
Did you go to the meeting?
I went to the meeting, that wasn't a meeting. Because
Well,
it
what
wasn't on the
happened?
agenda.
What?
There was Susan Thorne had contacted me and asked if one of us could go because it was going to be on the planning board.
Yeah, it was that night of the
This
Concom,
past
right.
Monday, it was
This
night
past
of the
Monday.
Concom, and I was wanted to
So
go
I
to the
went
Concom.
online,
Yeah, I
got the
couldn't go
agenda,
either.
drove out there, and as I'm reading the agenda in the parking lot, there was nothing about Zero Cross Street or 86 Franklin Road on the agenda. Absolutely nothing. So that's why I came back and,
Oh,
'cause
So,
there wasn't a discussion.
did you go in?
I went in,
And they
and
said,
there was nothing.
was Susan there?
I did not see her. I did not see her.
So I,
That's very odd.
So,
So what's next?
Yep.
Like what, like,
Well, I
do we
will-
have any, like, is there anything,
well, they didn't discuss it, so I don't know if it was removed for whatever reason. There was no explanation. I wasn't given an explanation, nor did I ask because I was a little annoyed. But-
Tony has.
We have someone
Yep.
with a hand up.
Go
Yeah, hand up.
Tony, go ahead.
Can you hear us? Hi.
Hello?
Yes, can you hear us?
I
yeah,
can hear you now. Yep.
Okay, so first of all, humble apologies in terms of the misfire on the date. I originally did request to be on the 23rd, but in the email, she came back and gave the date of March 9th. So I apologize if that was not clear, and I again, I just follow my sword if there was a miscommunication about the date. But I just got an email this evening from Aniri Patel that said even the March 9 date, that they have taken that off the agenda. And I'm just going to read you real briefly what she said in the note. She says, because the question you raise related to the enforcement of existing special permit conditions, this matter is being handled through the building commissioner, who is the authority responsible for reviewing and acting on enforcement requests. And then she goes on to say, the planning board may want to take this item up at a future meeting. So I know this board has written to Christopher McWhite back in February. I don't know if you've heard back from him, and I'm just feeling at this point in time, the connection really probably best needs to happen between the two town managers, Hopkinton and Ashland, and the town councils between Hopkinton and Ashland. And again, I'm just requesting if there was any correspondence coming back from Christopher McWhite.
I did not get any response back from the letter that was sent.
Okay.
What about from Agilitas?
Michael, you had mentioned you were playing phone tag at our last meeting, I think,
Yeah,
with the town.
with the town manager, and then I do know that town council, there has been discussions as well between the two towns.
Is there any update you can share, Michael?
No, just that I believe what was told
in Hopkinton was that it was the same thing that you had heard, was that it was the building commissioner's responsibility.
Okay, so what's the most effective way now for our town to get some response from him and some action from him? Because we're just asking him to enforce the special permit.
Yeah, I don't know what we can do in Ashland to require the building commissioner in another community to do something. I mean, what we have done is spoken to our building commissioner, and, you know, said that any permits that would be applied for shouldn't be issued.
Right, I appreciate that.
So should I send the original letter that I sent to McWhite to the building commissioner in Hopkinton?
He is the
Maybe we
building
need to
commissioner.
Find out what conversations happened with the attorneys, right?
Yes, that
Yeah.
would be great. I'm hoping that the attorneys can advise Christopher McWhite from a legal point of view, because everyone that's looked at this from a legal perspective thinks it's black and white. And even I understood from Becca Solomon.
Touch it.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I was just going to remind you all that Becca Solomon had said to Tony and I that Hopkinton can and should enforce their special permit. So that's from a legal perspective. So if she can work with their attorney and they in turn with Christopher McWhite, it seems like that's the critical connection that needs to happen at this point. Because otherwise, I just candidly, I'm feeling like Hopkinton Planning Board is just kind of kicking the can down the road by taking it off the agenda for March 9. I mean, I went around this past weekend and distributed flyers to like 100 of my neighbors, and I was planning to do more. And everybody that was out on Saturday, it was a beautiful day that I talked with, they absolutely 100% agreed with this. And that was both Ashland and Hopkinton side. So there's definitely public support, and I was trying to enlist people to show up for the March 9 meeting, but now that's off the table.
Did they give a reason why they took it off the March 9th agenda?
Let me just reread this. So it's because the question you raised related to enforcement
building
of
commissioner?
existing, yeah.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, you
So
did
it's-
mention that.
Right, so it's
Yep.
their building commissioner that has to enforce it, so it's not gonna come back to their planning board. So then the
Right.
question is, how do we make sure that their building commissioner enforces this? And/or is there some legal thing that has to happen that goes, okay, because this is in Ashland, can we transfer this legal, this order from Hopkinton to Ashland property? Maybe it's something we have to approve, or our town council, or something, but.
Maybe Agilitas will donate it.
Well, that's what they're meant to do because
Yeah.
it's earmarked. It is
Right.
in the registry
Right.
as open space land.
Correct.
They're meant to do that.
Well, one thing we'll do, Susan, is we'll have Michael contact Lisa's office and find out what, you know, where it stands with her, and then maybe have Lisa, if the board agrees, have Lisa send a letter to the building inspector of Hopkinton asking what his intentions are with that property and where it has a restriction on it, that it should be, would they consider turning it over to the town?
Who did our letter go to? Our letter went to
Went to the planning board,
their planning board.
yes.
And the
They never-
developer, I thought.
Yeah.
And the
if they're
developer,
going
yes.
To
Yes.
Agilitas.
Yeah,
Wouldn't one expect
Directly to
that
him.
planning board would respond to us directly,
never got a response back.
or the town manager would respond to us directly? I mean, what's?
McWhite never sent a response back to my letter directly to me because it came from me. Never got it. I would have more than happily, under correspondence, would have been part of that package. Never got it. So, all right, so would that suit you, Susan and Tony, for us to contact our council, to contact Hopkinton's building inspector to see?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely, Joe. And yeah, Michael, if you mentioned you were playing phone tag with the town manager in Hopkinton, I don't know if you made that connection on this topic?
Yeah, we were talking about that, yeah.
Okay. Okay, and what did she have to say?
Oh, I'm sorry, I misunderstood you. No, we haven't been able to contact each other. We've been playing phone tag.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if you can continue to pursue that as well, I think that would be important, just to reinforce the importance of this to the town of Ashland and Hopkinton, candidly. Again, everyone's for it, but they need to take action.
Yeah, it does seem kind of like they're punting it.
Yeah. And again, I can't apologize enough about the date and the misfire on the date. So thank you for your continued support in this matter.
Yeah, you're welcome. It is important to us, and any free land that we can get and keep it open space is always a positive for the community as a whole. Susan,
All right,
I was thinking out loud, and I just may take a road trip tomorrow to Hopkinton and stop in and see what's going on.
That would be fantastic. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll try to stay in touch with you. Is the only way to stay in touch through these meetings, or is there any
No,
way
you
to find
can you can contact me directly.
Okay. All right. Super. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right.
Oh, let's see, so
Cyber
next,
Scout letter.
yeah, and I don't know if you've heard much, but so many residents have received a letter on behalf of the town, but from a company called Cyber Scout, which was notifying residents that they could have been subject to a data breach that happened last year. After insurance, our insurance counsel had looked at the, looked into the incident, looked into things, felt like it was appropriate just to give everybody an opportunity to, let them know that their data could have been accessed, and that they had the opportunity we were offering to do a credit monitoring service through them. So, unfortunately, the letter was. It wasn't the best quality at all, and I think that gave people some pause.
Black and white didn't.
Yeah, it was a little flimsy, I guess you could say. And then there was supposed to be another piece of correspondence that was in there that each resident I've talked to, said they only got that one. So that's. I need to look into that.
And how was it determined who would get that letter? I mean, were they the only people who were in danger of?
I got one.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it wasn't a small list. It was just if there was the potential for their data to be accessed, we wanted to make sure that we notified them and gave them an opportunity to, lock up their credit.
Yeah, but if you didn't receive one, what does that mean?
Then your data wasn't privy to being accessed, yeah.
Okay, well, just seems kind of.
Well, it's funny you should say that, because I've been having issues with my computer since day one, since the letter, you got the letter? Since I got the letter. Okay.
So, but that's what that is, so I just wanted to let everybody know who happens to be watching.
Just out of curiosity, were they supposed to let you guys know before they sent out anything to residents?
Yeah, I mean, we'd gone through and approved like the proofs. Yeah, it was a little surprised that.
Yeah, that was a big topic on Facebook. I don't know if you folks saw that or not, but it was the big topic on Facebook. And people were asking, who do we contact to make sure this isn't a scam?
Yeah, we've had a lot of people call and come by. Yeah.
That's why I asked Michael, what's going on here? Because,
Motion to go past 10 o'clock.
Is there a second?
No.
Okay. Well, all right.
Motion to adjourn then.
Second.
Yeah, that's all I had on that.
That's all you have? Yeah. Okay. All right.
We have to vote on the motion to go past 10 o'clock. That's now been seconded.
Okay, are we at 10 already?
It's 5 after.
It's only macro, because that says 9:05. That's why I said, really? Sorry about that. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? I didn't hear it.
No, it's fine. I'm fine. I'm here. I'm here.
Okay, thank you.
I'm still awake. I had coffee right before this meeting.
Oh, my
so-
word.
Yeah.
Wow.
Same.
Okay, with that, thank you for that description and correspondence on the
I move
cyberscope
that
letter.
we open the BAA community grant round, and if Claudia and Brandy are willing to do it, that they are our subcommittee.
Wow.
I'm getting right to the
Oh,
point.
you rehearsed that very nicely, by the way.
That was not rehearsed, believe me.
Is there a second?
I don't know if Claudia and Brandy want to do it again this time, but
I'm happy to do it, but I just want to offer anybody else the opportunity that might want to do it.
You guys have done such a
thank you for that, Claudia.
Thank
but
you.
yeah.
Thank you, yeah, thank you.
Remember
Appreciate
that comp
that.
plan discussion? that-
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So we'll take a vote, seeing that the two recipients aren't saying no, so let's,
I'm happy to do it again.
okay, thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that's
Did we
5-0.
get it? I don't
Thank you
know, did we
again.
Get a second.
I'll be the second.
So the grant, the community grant round is now open for the
Now
spring.
open.
Okay, liaison updates. Ashland Cultural Council.
Do not have any updates for my committees this time around, so,
Okay.
yeah.
You will have one pretty soon, because they're gonna be meeting with the Roadway Traffic Study Committee regarding the paintings of all the traffic boxes in town.
Yes, well, that is very exciting. But I'm not sure it depends on what time the meeting is. It will drive whether I can attend or not.
It'll be a topic of discussion
Right.
when we have our traffic study meeting, which was canceled because of the blizzard.
Yes.
So.
But just the
possibly in next week or
boxes,
so.
not like other.
Oh, no,
walls.
it's just
Okay,
the
good.
boxes that hold
I mean,
the,
we've
computers.
seen you've probably
yeah,
seen
we've
this in
seen it in
other
other communities.
communities.
Oh, yeah,
and,
yeah.
You know,
But
so
this-
it's
these,
something that, yeah.
what we were told, they were gonna be of a historical nature of Ashland.
That sounds delightful.
Yes.
I can't
and we
wait to
thought
hear
the
the
same- We thought
discussion.
the same thing, so once we
Yeah.
made a decision, we would come to the board to vote to approve it,
Okay.
okay?
And Makita, it sounds like it will be a nice little, like, mesh of both the Ashland Cultural Council and your historical.
I know, it's like it's all coming together. It's
coming together,
It's all
kid.
coming together.
Sorry, I'm a little
Okay.
punchy.
Next, Conservation Commission.
So I was at the meeting on Monday as well, with 10 to 60 Main, the opening, and I just want to say, I think the way that the Conservation Commission structures that meeting, hopefully they'll allow, the applicant to actually do his presentation, but other than that, I think it was very, it was very structured, so.
It was structured, that's for sure.
So, they run a tight meeting, so just, that is all I have to say on that. So, and then while I'm talking, just because sustainability is on here.
Yep.
I did not go to yesterday's Sustainability Committee meeting. I had another engagement that I had another commitment, but I do know that they are submitting a warrant article for town meeting on the skip the stuff.
Yep.
So I'm sure that they'll be coming before us, and I'll talk.
I'm sorry, what are they submitting that I didn't hear it
I'm sorry, a warrant article
for?
for the skip the stuff, which has to do with the
Utensils.
takeout.
Yeah,
Take-
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the default would be to not
Have it,
Yes.
but upon request.
Upon
And,
request, yes. So I'm sure they'll be coming to us to discuss that. So
Yep, thank you.
that's all I got.
Appreciate that, thank you. Let's see, Town Forest Committee.
Stormwater?
Oh, I'm sorry, Stormwater.
Stormwater, that's me.
That'd be you.
Stormwater had a meeting last evening that I attended, and they, a lot of the conversation last night was, they are requesting, I don't know if they've already spoken to you, Joe,
I
but
already
they're gonna.
spoke to Rob.
Yeah.
Yep. And we had
So-
to cancel it because April 1st, by the way, is Passover. So we have to change that date. We will not be meeting on that
April
date.
1st, okay?
Okay.
So, in any case, they are gonna come before us, and they talked a lot about, what the presentation, Rob, I think, had created a draft, and they talked a lot about, things that they would, be discussing before us, including, basically, they're waiting for, I'll let them explain it all, because this has all been a learning curve for me, but, the type of criteria that stormwater is, that we have to function under, and things that, right now, the MS4, which is what dictates it, has lapsed, and we're waiting for the state is going to create a new one, but until they do so, we're just trying to keep up with what we're supposed to be doing, and hopefully we'll be in good shape by the time they come through with that. So anyways, I'll let them explain all that, and that's it for that. Should we do, since we're doing, should we just, if there's something else we wanted to? Well, I'm not, but is this where we might do our updates too? Just in general, how, we just go around the room and do that? That.
Well, we still have a few other things left to do. We have the Upper Childs Trail Committee.
Oh, you know what, sorry, I jumped ahead. I
That's
was just
okay.
thinking while I was talking, I
Yep.
kept going, but,
That's okay.
all right, I'm good.
Thank you. Upper Childs Trail Committee.
So I had a meeting with the Upper Charles Trail Committee and Diane Mortensen, and we are working, we have some funding available to do some work for engineering and design of the trail. And we're waiting to get a quote back from a company called Fuss and O'Neill. They've done a lot of different trails. We had a great meeting with them 3 or 4 weeks ago, and then we had a follow-up, with the Trails Committee. So we're waiting for that proposal to come back. And the goal is that they will lay out a route from Hopkinton to Framingham Town Line, and also potentially work on 25% design for the first portion from Framingham to the Public Safety Building. And the funds that we have to use by the end of the year, so that's why we're working on
Oh,
this.
so it's earmarked, I'm sorry, there's a sunset date for that?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, and then as part of that, we also have a grant that we received almost 2 years ago to purchase the land on 126, and we're evaluating those different properties, because we might try to do a different property.
Okay, because the other property owner backed out of the discussion.
Well,
just made
a
it
couple
difficult for you
things.
folks?
Partly was the discussion of the owner, but also looking at the parcel.
Yeah.
It has a lot of wetlands.
Yep.
So it would be hard, you could put something through there, but it could be difficult and it could be expensive.
We could put a bike path in, but we couldn't put apartment or condos in. Because that was part of the property that was on the comprehensive.
No, this is
Plan.
the parcel that I'm talking about was not on.
Oh, it wasn't on
On the
okay.
housing, affordable housing project, no.
Okay, all right, I thought it looked like the same location.
No.
Okay,
No, so, so things are moving forward.
Oh, good.
Hopefully, we'll have some more information by
Awesome.
the end of March.
Zoning Board of Appeals.
That would be me,
That would
and
be
I
you.
have no updates from them.
Okay.
I'll go to their meeting next week,
Okay,
so.
thank you.
Who has town forest? Does anybody?
I'm not sure.
They don't need a liaison.
They're on their
If,
own.
if not, I'd be willing to take that one. I'll take town forest, unless someone else wanted. Unless it's yours, Makita?
Town forest.
I don't, it's,
Yolanda.
it's
Oh.
you.
It is
I
you.
thought
It
you
is
signed
me.
up for it,
It is
yeah.
you.
I thought you did sign up for it.
Thank you, Claudia.
That is
Thanks
you.
for checking that,
Thanks for
Claudia.
checking the
Now I know.
spreadsheet that
I'll
we,
reach
Yeah,
out to
that
them.
to people for not filling out.
You're willing to do
Yeah,
it.
well, do it, because I signed up for it already.
Because you signed up.
That's why
I
she
have
knew.
Community Preservation Committee, but that wasn't on here, but I haven't been to the meeting.
You can update that. You can update the spreadsheet. It's
No, the
fine.
spreadsheet is
It's
updated. I'm saying
updated.
it wasn't on our agenda as of.
No, as of
on the
now,
list
no.
of items, so.
No.
List of committees.
I should probably add that working group that I'm liaising to as well on that spreadsheet.
I
for the
move that we
ethics.
approve the consent agenda as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in
Second.
favor?
Aye.
Aye. And in doing so, I
I
would
just
like
want to-
to thank Charles Litz for his work over the years
Yes, thank you,
on the
Chuck.
Thank you,
Sustainability
Chuck.
Committee. We appreciate all your effort and your wisdom on that committee as well. So thank you very much.
And Chuck was also the representative on the comprehensive plan, so,
Mm-hmm.
on the steering.
He's got a lot of free
committee,
time.
so
We must be able to find something for him.
Yeah.
So,
And-
so thanks, Chuck, for all your work.
And one thing I'd like to note is that Michael has appointed an additional local building inspector. I'm assuming he's a part-time inspector, or
That is the plan.
that is the plan? Okay. So this will help ease some of the burden of a full-time employee, if you want to talk about it. No, if you don't want to talk about it, that's fine.
So unfortunately, he has turned the position down.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
oh, then we should have removed that from our consent agenda.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry about that. It just happened.
It just happened.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And I was gonna say, this was a position that had been vacant, like it wasn't,
Yeah.
it's not
It's not
creating a new position.
No,
No.
So,
no, right.
just to
Yeah,
clarify
thank you.
for
Yeah.
folks.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's sad news.
It is sad news.
And I mean, we should mention again, I know it was brought up last time, but we got that $500,000
Yep.
Complete Street Award, which is huge for the intersection of Union and Fountain
Yep.
Streets.
Yep.
And who should we give special thanks to?
Becca Navarro.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's done a great job. Did a great job with that.
Very nice.
Well, please
Yeah.
thank
Great.
her for us, and,
Yeah.
you know, that's certainly something, you know, that's one of those things that the community will notice, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
for sure.
Yeah, and as a person that's at that intersection on a daily basis,
Yes.
thank you, Becca. And also, I'm sure all the kids at the high school will thank you too.
It's a very popular
Absolutely. Well,
intersection.
it is very popular, and and especially with the snow has mounted in that area, it's narrowed it even more so, people need to be aware of that. So hopefully this new revision will make it a little bit safer. So, that's good.
Yeah.
Very good to go.
Yeah.
All right. Are we ready?
Yeah, I would turn it over to Catherine.
Yep, we're ready.
Thank you. So the Community Center Improvement Project update, the organizers are continuing work this week. They are working on finishing up the rec storage area, and then they'll move on to the art room. And it looks amazing. The bins are very organized, clear, labeled, all shelved in a really nice, neat order. It looks
Good.
really great.
Excellent.
So they'll continue work there. The bids came in, so we're working through that. We started a little working group, so we'll meet weekly just to make sure that we're staying on target with everything. So that's moving along. And then, any questions there?
No?
Okay. And then the next thing I want to talk about was Katie Cool. So I think most of you have met Katie. She's our assistant HR director. And so she was just accepted into the MMA's HR certificate program. So the MMA partners with Suffolk University.
Nice.
And we included the syllabus in the packet.
Saw that.
Yeah. And so just from my own personal experience, I can say that working in HR in the private sector and switching over to the public sector is just a completely different animal. At times I felt like I was starting a new career. And so I wish I had this opportunity. Katie is very lucky that this came up at the right time and we're able to do it. So she's going to spend, I believe it's 6 days, 2 half days, and then 4 full days coming up in April. And it's going to go over, some basics. And then sort of build from there. So contract negotiations, how health insurance is just a completely different game when you enter the municipal world, amongst other things, policy updates, case law updates, things that are really important that we continue working on and making sure that we're up to speed.
Very good.
Great.
Thank you.
I know, good for her, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's great news. Thank you for the update. One quick question. How's the food pantry going at the new location?
It's actually going really well. I haven't heard any complaints. The only thing I have heard is that, and I think I shared this last time, that residents who didn't know we had a food pantry have
No,
not
no.
And
found
now
out.
aware of it.
Yes.
And along with your WACA airing, I watched it the other night when,
You had nothing else to watch?
well, well, you know, it's 2 o'clock.
wasn't gonna say
It was
No,
2
he wasn't, but I
It was 2 o'clock in the morning. What can I say?
Okay.
Okay.
So I kept you
So-
awake for
Okay,
a half
all
hour.
right, okay. For those folks who need to know.
We're laughing at Claudia after almost.
Yeah, almost spit it out, yeah.
Okay, those are my sleep habits. What can I tell you? What can I tell you? I'm glad you guys are getting a kick out of it because, you know, not giving me a kick, that's for
I usually
sure.
last till 3, Joe.
Yeah. Okay, Michael, we have town manager reports. Are you
He's
good to
got the
go?
town
Oh, that was
manager
it. That was the
report.
town
Yes,
manager's
yes,
report.
yes.
Never mind. Okay. I'm telling you, my eyes are getting tired. Sorry about that. Board reports. Okay.
I think we should let Catherine do it all the time.
Okay.
Wow. Wow.
Just got a promotion.
Who do we'll start with you, Alana,
Works
on
for
board reports.
So I have been invited to be the chair again for the Mass Municipal Association's Regional Policy Committee, so
Good for
I'm
you.
surprised, I'm like a third
Congratulations.
year, I was like, really? She's like, yeah, I'm like, okay. So that was good, I guess, and so on Monday, what's cool is they're bringing all the policy committee members together, and so I'm gonna be going into the MMA offices in Boston for that.
Nice.
And then I know I've been a little not as involved with stuff, especially on Tuesdays. I will unfortunately be missing the tri-board meeting, even though it's one of the things that I know. But I am in rehearsal and next week is Tech Week. I am performing as part of Hopkinton Centers for the Arts adult musical review called Children Will Listen. And that is going to be the 13th and 14th and 21st at Hopkinton Center for the Arts.
That's awesome.
So getting myself out, doing some different things just to take away some of the stress of work right now. And then just a reminder, we put our clocks back or ahead.
Ahead.
This weekend, so
Yep. Spring
be
ahead.
aware of that, spring ahead, so. And that's all I got for tonight.
That means summer's up there is approaching.
Days are getting longer.
That means you'll be up at 3
More
instead
light.
of 2.
You know what, if
Thank you,
he's lucky,
Claudia.
if he's
really
lucky,
need to
Claudia,
remember.
he'll be on at 3 too.
You're right. You're right. But what a better way to watch and pay attention to everything that's being said because there's nothing else going on.
Shout out to WACA for all the night owls out there.
That's right.
So,
What would we do?
what would we do? Very quickly, just other than my upcoming committee meetings, you caught me off cycle a little bit, folks. I will be at Select Board office hours at the Bagel Table with Brandy on the 20th of March, from 11 to 1. That's Friday afternoon. So that's and I know there's a Saturday one coming up. So
That's
as
right,
well.
you and I.
But I will not be there.
Oh, you
I've
won't
switched with.
Saturday.
So you,
With
oh,
Claudia.
Saturday. You and I?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So, a couple of other things. Ashland Music Association spring concerts are underway. I had a chance to take in a delightful concert last night with the 6th, 7th, and 8th graders down at the high school. Snowy night, incredible music though. The kids did great. So thanks once again for their efforts, and thanks everybody for such a beautiful concert. Concert series continues. Visit ashlandmusic.org to find out more. The Boy Scout Pancake Breakfast and Silent Auction will be on Sunday, March 22nd at the VFW, 6:30 to 12, I think, or maybe a little later than that. No, actually, no, it's 9. I'm sorry, it's like there's some of us are going to try to volunteer, so like we have to be there at a certain time. But yeah, great community event. Please try to take it in, get your tickets, support the
Always
Boy
do.
Scouts. They support this community immensely and do a lot around town to make Ashland great. And March 8th is International Women's Day, and March is Women's History Month. So great opportunity to find out more and study up more on the contributions of women, not just in public life, but in beyond. So that's what
And hockey.
And hockey,
And
especially hockey.
That's right.
USA, USA. Thank you.
Thank you, Makita. Claudia?
Yeah, so I didn't have much here. I did attend the Concom meeting, and I did want to note that they did a great job. They are very structured, and they kind of laid out the parameters, the in particular areas that they have oversight of, and so I think it was helpful, hopefully, to everyone involved, so that as they go forward, everybody understands what they'll be looking at, and so it was a very, very good meeting. And then we already talked that death, so everything else been talked about. I'm good, thank you.
Okay, Brandy?
So I've been working on some budget stuff. So just budget stuff,
Yep.
including the public forum that we're gonna have. So, the things that are coming up that were really interesting, not interesting, that's not the word. We have the Eagle Scout Court of Honor that we were invited to, Austin Turncliffe. So I think Joe and I are gonna go to that, so congratulations in advance to Austin. We're excited to be there and to be a part of that. And then there's a couple things that I just wanted to just mention. So one, Yolanda had sent me a link. We get a lot of emails from MMA, as you guys all know. But Yolanda had sent me a link to a webinar that's coming up on March 17th. Which is visually communicate your municipal budget. So maybe make it a little bit more, I don't know, engaging, I'm hoping, something that we can bring to the public as part of this budget discussion. So that's coming up on March 17th. And I was having a conversation with Claudia about MMA. We were talking about AI, because I've just recently found AI. It's a good find.
Have you now?
Have you heard about this thing called AI?
Have you heard about the AI thing? Yeah.
So, we were just having a conversation about some of the good things about AI, and I know there's lots of guardrails and parameters and things that you want to put in front of doing anything with AI. But I did want to let you guys know there's 2 webinars on the MMA site that have been from very recently, like February. One that it's kind of a background, and I didn't watch that one. The Power of Context, Setting the Foundation for AI. And then the second one, which was AI in Action, Practical Use Cases for Municipal Departments, which I thought was really interesting. And just ways that it can be utilized in kind of, and those guardrails, things that you don't want to put into an AI, large language model or anything like that. But just ways that it could make people's lives just a little bit more efficient. So nothing ever replaces people. We're in a people place, but sometimes I have marveled at some of the things that AI is capable of doing, especially when it's comparing documents or
resumes.
Or you're looking for specific things.
I would recommend at some point if we could get a discussion on the agenda about AI policy, use policy, going forward. This is actually an area I'm very familiar with. I've traveled across the country and given seminars not just on how to use AI, but how to use it ethically, and also how to use it from a technical standpoint as well. I've been doing it for the past 2.5 years because I'm in IT. But that I think at this point, now that MMA and you and other folks have discovered it, it might be time to get a conversation going I'm not familiar if the schools have a declared policy on it yet as well, but I think that's something that we as a town have to take a look at and maybe have some discussions about coming up. So I would ask if
So
we
the
could
next-
consider.
So on that, when I send out the email about agenda setting meetings and stuff
Yeah.
and topics, please send that along to me
I
as a
will.
reminder, and we'll put it on the agenda.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But anyway, I just wanted to.
Yep.
because
Yeah,
were talking
we
about
were talking that it might be useful in the community, in the town.
Yeah.
Right? And, you know, just a funny story, I asked Cindy for a voter list, but I wanted to, I was trying to see if I could find it online, because it's a public document, right? And so I plugged it into AI, and AI, you know, said, well, you should do this, contact your town clerk, and gave Cindy's name, gave address, phone number, and then it said, you might also find it here, and I can also contact the town clerk's office for you. And so I said to her, be on the lookout. You might get an email from I don't know who requesting it. So,
But that's the
yeah,
thing, right?
yeah.
And that's why, you know, I think insofar as like how the town uses it and how boards and commissions use it, there needs to be some kind of a policy
Yep.
set for that.
That would be something that we would have to sit down
Yeah.
And when I
do.
attended the stormwater meeting, they were asking for, they were talking about, you know, stormwater fees and that. And so they were trying to compare it to other towns, and so I looked that up, and it actually said, oh, well, we'll give you a full report in 24 hours. They haven't, I just looked again, but they haven't done that yet.
Beware of hallucinations. There, if you're not using a paid version, you will get a lot of them.
A lot of them, yeah.
That's not true. I'd say you might be at more danger because they're using different quality engines.
I'm actually using a
Yeah,
beta
so-
tester that my nephew created.
So that's fun.
I am.
So
Maybe
I think it
not
does,
use it.
I think it does warrant a discussion. We should. put
Yeah,
it on the
absolutely,
agenda.
absolutely.
Yeah. So,
Anything else?
That's it for me.
Thank you so much. Yep, so we'll put that on, just remind me, put it on the agenda. So Makita, send me off an email, that would be cool.
I'm emailing you right now, Joe.
Thank you so much. Alrighty, we had to postpone our roadway traffic study committee meeting because of the blizzard, and the guys needed to sleep. They didn't have to sit around and listen to, you know, complaints about stop signs and speeders and so on and so forth. So we're probably going to schedule that in a couple of weeks. So we'll be meeting there. Council on Aging, I'm meeting tomorrow at 10:30 at the community center, and I'm sure they'll have a lot to advise me about, especially when it comes to the budgets. They're very concerned, and rightfully so, as we all are, but they're feeling it even more so. They're doing a great job. I know that Candy has been involved with the repairs and the revitalization of the community center itself, and I suggested to her that she get a hold of the Hockington Laborers Training Council Center to do the patio, the side patio over there, because they're always looking for side work to do, to teach these guys how to masonry work, leveling off, things of that nature. So she took the number down, and I gave her Michael Norton's number, and hopefully they can work out something. So that may be very helpful. And to put the pagoda type thing up that they were talking about doing it, that could be an Eagle Scout project. So I mean, to save money in some way, shape, or form. So hopefully they're working on that to get that going. I don't have to talk about the pancake breakfast. It's already been done, and I'll be part of the ABA Town Leader Panel on the 17th of March from 8:30 to 9:30 here in Town Hall up here. It's always a brisk conversation and very relative to how and the concerns of the businesses in and downtown, in and around the area. So I'm looking forward to that as well. So if there's anything you want to see added, or please shoot an email off to me. I'd be happy to be part of that discussion as well.
When is that happening, Joe? I'm sorry.
It's happening on March 17th.
Okay.
From 8:30 to 9:30.
In the morning.
Yep, and it'll be here in the Select Board's room. And if you haven't tried it yet, We had a pizza this afternoon from Killer Pizza. It was very good. You know what it reminded me of? In all sense, I don't know. It reminded me of Papagino's pizza. The same flavor and texture. It was. Oh, believe me.
Did you go there, or did you just get takeout?
Oh, we got takeout when we walked in. It was beautiful. They did a great job. It's absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
And the really cool part is they're Ashland people.
Yes, they are.
Kids that David, who owns it, went to Ashland Public Schools,
Yep.
and the support. So yeah, very.
Oh, yeah.
Very great.
Yeah, and
Great story. They wanted to come back. He had worked there for years
Yep.
when he was in high school, and
The former owner was still there helping out and
Yeah.
everything. And of course, when Donna and I come walking in, she would go in and advise them when there was a half a day or this and that. She was, oh, Donna, you're here, blah, 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 blah. And it was like old home week for them. But yeah, it was very, very nice. So it was cool. So with that, thank you all for all the efforts that you put into this week.
Mr. Chair, just one other reminder and greeting for folks. March 17th is St. Patrick's Day. I don't think we're going to meet before that, but until after that. So happy St. Patrick's Day
Yeah,
to
thank you.
those who celebrate.
To everybody. Yeah, that's right.
That should be everybody.
Yeah. And the pitchers are catches and the Sox are playing spring ball already. It's a happy time.
it's March.
It's March and it's happy time. So I'll
Motion to
entertain.
adjourn.
Thank you. All those, a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Good night,
See
everybody.
you in 2 weeks.
And we will see you in 2 weeks.